Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from a very happy LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
I'm in LA and I'm not happy.
LA
you happy?
people are happy, Skip. Most people woke up very happy, including Shannon over there. Look at that.
Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. I give it up to them, but they were very, very lucky. Very lucky. You were lucky you didn't bet me because I needed the 4 points. And guess who covered in this game? You would have lost many cases of Diet Dew to me. And by the way, your best friend, the Rambassador, Eric Dickerson, lost $500 to me. Thank you very much, sir.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself taking that man. He was vulnerable. You knew he's bet with his heart.
I've never been ashamed of taking all those cases off you, have I?
You sure haven't.
No.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Eric, unfortunately.
Hi, little Skip. You like this? You want me to get you one? You want a Cooper Kupp jersey? I'll get you a Cooper Kupp.
Next question.
I kind of like this look, Shannon.
See, now, if it was on Tom Brady, you'd come out here pimping with Tom Brady. Remember last Super Bowl?
No, I don't.
I saw
I
you
don't
wearing
know
that
anything
jersey
about it. That was
yesterday,
many years ago.
All right.
It's going to be many years before you win another Super Bowl,
I'm
too.
excited for today. We have so much to get to. The big game, it lived up to the hype in so many ways. Let's get into it. The Rams beat the Bengals 23-20 yesterday for their second Super Bowl in franchise history and first for the team while in LA. Cooper Kupp was named MVP after catching 2 touchdowns, including the game winner with less than 2 minutes left, while Aaron Donald had 2 of LA's Super Bowl record-tying 7 sacks. So, Shannon, what was the biggest reason the Rams won?
The Rams' defensive line took the game over in the second half. I don't know if people understand this, Skip. And Joe Burrow, last 22 dropbacks, he got sacked 7 times. He had sacked 7 times, 8 tackles for loss. They took the game over, and they needed to take the game over. First play out of the second half, Skip, 75-yard touchdowns. Matthew Stafford comes back, Skowanski. Skip, you got to run through that. Everybody knows over the middle of the field, you got to run through, because if you pop it up, somebody's going to be right there to catch it. And this game was teetering. It was about to get out of hand. And number 99 says, no way, no how are you getting this ball into the end zone. They settled for 3, and that was the end of it. After they got that 3 points, they had 50 total yards the remainder of the game. Aaron Donald, Von Miller said, no way, no how are you getting anything else. And then Matthew Stafford got it going. I thought Matthew Stafford played well. I thought he forced one ball, that interception into the end zone, Skip. But I think the thing is, at the end of the day, we got to give Matthew Stafford some credit, Skip. To what they did, they took apart the Arizona Cardinals, a division rival. And then he goes to Tampa and he does what he did to Tom Brady. And then down in the fourth quarter by 10 points to Jimmy G. Boom. Okay, even if you concede, say, well, Shannon, come on, Jimmy G, okay, I'm going to give you that. They were down in the fourth quarter to Tom Brady, too. And he did a number. He came back and made throws. Odell Beckham was about to go crazy in that game. He unfortunately suffered a knee injury. We don't know the extent, but it looked bad, non-contact injury, Skip.
They're reporting that it's almost certainly an ACL.
And, Skip, the thing is that...
And by the way, unfortunately, it's the same one he already tore. Go ahead.
Same one he already tore. And you can see now, I think you watching that game, it crystallized in your mind why they signed Odell. Because outside of Cooper Kupp, they didn't have anybody that could beat man coverage. Jefferson is not quite there yet. And on that last drive, Sean McVay said, look here, man, throw the ball to him or throw it out of bounds. Hopkins stepped up, made some big plays. I don't think he caught but a couple of passes all year long. He showed big in the last drive. But I think the defense is what won this ball game, Skip, because we know what Joe Burrow and that offense can do. And the defensive line took the game over. Aaron Donald, Von Miller. Remember, Von can't do it anymore. No, Von can't do it anymore when his team doesn't have a lead and they're running the ball like he was in Denver. Now you get an offense that can put pressure. You're playing alongside another great player, some other very good players. And you see Von, remember, he kind of looked like he did in Super Bowl 50, Skip. But that number 99, he left no doubt in your mind or anybody else's who the preeminent player in all of football is. The Rams defensive line took this game over. That's why they won 23-20.
I'm going to remind you first out of the box that Joe Burrow got sacked an NFL high 51 times during the regular season. Joe Burrow got sacked 19 more times in the playoffs. That means Joe Burrow got sacked 70 times this year. It's a staggering, unheard of total because no quarterback who ever got sacked 50 plus times has ever even sniffed to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
And he did. And the predictable happened because the Rams were feasting all night. And who knew? Number 50, Ernest Jones, came from nowhere because he was inactive for the first couple of games because he had an ankle injury. He's a rookie out of South Carolina. I don't know that much about him, but every time I looked up, number 50 was everywhere.
Right.
Blitzing everywhere. He was in the backfield. He had 3 hits on the quarterback.
Pass breakup on that 4th down.
And so their whole front 7, they're just everywhere. They're all over the field, coming every direction. Von Miller had 3 hits on the quarterback. Aaron Donald had 3 hits on the quarterback. Everybody had a hit on the quarterback. And meanwhile, Matt Stafford had time to drive downtown from SoFi in rush hour traffic and drive back before he had to deliver the football. So after a while, it was simply a matter of pressure versus no pressure. But I will say, a guy that I lauded and applauded all through the playoffs, Joe Burrow, Brady-esque. I said the closest thing we have left to Tom Brady was not Brady-esque last night, because the one huge difference, as I kept pointing out, was Tom Brady just gets rid of the football.
Right.
You're never going to sack Tom Brady 9 times at Tennessee
or 7 times
in the Super Bowl. You're just not going to do it because he's not going to let you get to him that many times that quickly. And Joe Burrow is getting worse and worse at going a little bit deer in headlights of, I'm going to hang on, I'm going to hang on. He is all-time great at hanging on to the football, but he is all-time bad at hanging on, waiting for somebody to come open, especially all the way to the final play of the game. It's 4th and only. You only need a yard. So Tom Brady's going to come up firing because he's going to look. He'll know before the snap. Tom Brady would take one look and say, I know I got Edelman there or Amendola there, or maybe it's Mike Evans, or maybe it's Chris Godwin, or maybe it's Gronk. Somebody, he'll just look at your set and say, he's going to be open like that. And I'm going to get it to him like that. And Joe Burrow just stands until Aaron Donald or somebody's all over it.
Skip. He got impatient. If you look the way they started the game, what were they doing? Getting the ball out of his hand quick, but they were nickel and dime him. They were not the big plays. They want big plays.
They get impatient or just too patient?
No,
I don't know.
No. Because they started wanting to push the ball down the field.
I got it, because there were so many little nickel and dime downs where you got to just take it.
Thank you.
Just take it.
That's what Tom would do.
It's 4th and 1 or it's 3rd and 3. I'll get into another one. There was a 3rd and 3 play where they had a chance to just put your team away, and it got to be 3rd and 3 at the 11. I'll get to that in just a second. But the point is, he comes out hot in that final last-ditch drive, and he goes, 19 yards to Chase. 17 yards to Chase, and then 9 yards to Tyler Boyd. And I'm thinking, here they come, because they're all of a sudden, they're 1st and 10 at the Rams 49. You're within one throw. You needed one medium range, like a 12-yard throw to set up a 55-yard field goal. And is that little kicker hot?
Oh, he got plenty of leg. He got plenty of leg.
It's anywhere 55 to 60. So he just needed one mid-range completion, and all of a sudden, we're very possibly looking at overtime.
You're correct.
But they go, obviously, all of a sudden it's 2nd and 1, and let's just go ahead and see. He throws 2nd and 1, I don't know, to nobody. He threw it way out of bounds. These are precious downs with seconds left. If we show, this is right at the end. I thought, Jamar's deep. No, he's not. No. And the ball was like 5 yards thrown out of bounds. What are you doing? I don't know, because this is a wasted down, because you still got 54 seconds left in the game.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip. You say, I'm going to throw the ball. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I still got 2 downs to get 1 yard.
There's P. Ryan.
Yeah.
And that's
AD.
Okay, that was his best play of the game. Aaron Donald's best play, because he reached from behind and grabbed him around the waist and held on for dear life.
After he posted the old lineman.
And listen, P. Ryan's a load. He's 235.
Easy.
He might be 250 by now. But the point was, he just grabbed him around the waist and held him. And then it comes down to 4th down. And then Aaron Donald's got him around the waist, and Burrow almost pulled off a miracle play, because it was within range of P. Ryan. But
he almost pulled a Jimmy G. Jimmy G threw, the guy intercepted, but he almost
Well, it was close enough.
Yes.
All right. Now, for me, bottom line to this game, it turned on 2 referee calls. And if we could see the first one, it came late in the first quarter with about 28 seconds left. It's 3rd and 10 at the 11 for Joe Burrow.
Okay.
And he hits T. Higgins over the middle, I thought. And it's incomplete because Jalen Ramsey breaks it up. But Jalen Ramsey is grabbing onto T. Higgins' jersey and holding him and pulling him back. And it's one of those catapult plays where Jalen grabs his jersey and tugs hard enough to catapult himself out in front of the play. I don't know if we're going to have a close-up of this. I don't.
Yeah, you need another angle. Probably need to back the end zone angle to see it.
He's just grabbing his jersey and holding on for dear life.
Right.
It was blatant, uncalled pass interference. I'm going to call that one because it definitely impeded the receiver.
Well, Skip, for the first 3 quarters, they let him play. At that point in time, late in the game, there's only 3 penalties called. Unsportsmanlike conduct and 2 false start penalty on the Ram.
Okay, and as great as that last drive was, 79 yards and 15 plays for Matt Stafford and company, and it was a Cooper Kupp special because it's just Cooper Kupp or bust.
Exactly.
Play after play after play. We still get down to 3rd and goal at the 8-yard line. This comes with 1:47 left in the game. They're still trailing. And if we could see this throw over the middle to Cooper Kupp and Logan Wilson, who had played his tail off all night, he's got a hand on Cooper Kupp, but it's not a grab-hold hand. It's just he's got a hand on him.
This right here, Skip, that's what they call it.
Just a touch.
Yeah.
He's not impeding him. He's not holding. It's just hands play. It's just typical hand fighting near the goal line. And to me, I'm not calling that because that's just ticky-tack. And to your point, up to that point, there have been 2 penalties called in the whole football game. We're 1:47 left in the game. And it's just a touch. It's a touch. I don't think he's impeded. I think Cooper Kupp is as open as he's going to get. And Logan Wilson just blanketed him and stuck out an arm and knocked the ball down.
Right.
Logan Wilson led all tacklers with 8 unassisted. He had 9 total tackles. He had 3 tackles for losses.
Yes.
He was everywhere.
Yeah, he played well.
Okay?
He played well.
But if you take that play away, if you don't call that, if you let that go because it's let him play,
right,
all of a sudden, we're looking at 4th and goal from the 8. That's hard, man.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp pull off another miracle.
That's Aaron Rodgers special.
Okay.
Remember 30?
Well, his coach just said, I give up.
Exactly.
I just kick.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to take a field goal to make it 20 to 19.
You can't take a field goal.
20 to 16 at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Coach McYay's just got to say, what's my best play? And just hope that Matt and Cooper, maybe you try somebody else. I don't know. But I would like the Bengals' chances. And if you fail on that throw on 4th down, I believe the Bengals are going to win that game. That's just me. Yeah. So it comes down to one ticky-tack call. And again, if you're not going to call Jalen Ramsey grabbing on to T. Higgins late in the first quarter, why would you call that late in the game?
What are we going to do about that T. Higgins face mask on Jalen Ramsey for that 75-yard touchdown?
Well, that's interesting because the referees issued a statement after the game, if I could find it here. Mm-hmm. Here's the head referee, Ron Torbert. He says it was a contested catch and the crew didn't see any contact that rose to the level of pass interference. He goes on to say, our rule is that if there is a grab and twist and turn, that's enough for a foul of the face mask. Mm-hmm. If there's just a rake across the face mask, where there's not a twist or turn, even if there's a grab, there is no foul. The officials did not see any contact that rose to the level of a foul for a 15-yard face mask. So he's just saying it was a let him play, contested jump ball.
Let me ask you a question. How many times have we seen the quarterback get hit in the face? It's not a turn, it's not a tug, but they call the flag.
It's just because you hit him above the shoulder.
Okay, you hit him above the shoulders.
Okay, but he's a wide receiver.
Skip, the man turn. Did Jalen Ramsey's head not turn?
I don't think he did.
Skip.
Yeah. I didn't think it was blatant.
Skip, look at his man. So Jalen Ramsey's head didn't turn.
I don't think it's a twist and turn, like he said.
You ain't got a twist if his head turns.
You know, I thought Jalen Ramsey played the ball poorly. I was shocked because he had a long, bad game. He got hurt 3 different times by them.
He did a lot of guessing. He got to stop guessing so much.
Yeah.
The rule out on him is that at 10 yards, if you give him an out fake, he's going to bite. Mike Evans got it. Jamar Chase got him. He didn't play his best game. The best thing about this, Skip, they won the game because he would be kicking himself. He would have a very, very long offseason had they lost his game, given the way he played in this game.
Okay. So now we looked at other plays that were killers for the Cincinnati Bengals. And to your point, the second
interception thrown by Matthew Stafford, I thought it was a bad throw to Skoranek. It was low and led him too much, where he had to reach and tip
but Skip, he got to keep running, Skip.
Okay.
It's man coverage. Why are you pulling up?
We could see his second interception. So you're going to your fourth receiver here.
Yeah, but Skip, it's man. You can't stop. He's running it like zone. Keep running.
I'm not sure he didn't keep running, but the ball gets tipped up. It wasn't an accurate throw. And
Odell would have caught that.
This is Odell didn't catch the one that he got hurt on, hit him right in the hands. And
the man tore his knee.
Well, I know, but it was right there, and he just didn't hang on to it. But that's fine. Wish we could have seen Odell the rest of the game. But no,
you didn't see that.
That's interception number 2. And so they turn right around, and they have a chance to put the Rams away here.
I agree.
And it comes down to 3rd and 3 at the 11. If we could see what Joe Burrow did on 3rd and 3 at the 11, this is the game to me. This is a play you just have to make. It's 3rd and 3, and he doesn't get rid of the football again. And you take a sack.
Look at AD.
Okay.
That's AD. You do realize that's the preeminent defensive player in all of football, right?
Do you realize what you were up against? Do you realize you're up against a line that last night had a pass block win rate of 14%? It was the lowest in any game all season long. And that Adeniji played guard. Remember, I told you that the rookie they drafted out of Clemson, that Jackson Carman, he played 35 snaps to Adeniji's 34 at Kansas City, and they only got sacked one time at Kansas City. Last night, Adeniji played every single snap. He's a complete weak link liability. Yeah. I could block Aaron Donald better than Adeniji could. He just can't get his feet set. Aaron Donald just knocks him back onto his heels every single time with the initial explosion.
Right.
Once you knock him back on his heels, all bets are off. You can just pick your direction. I'm going to go right or left because he's stumbling backwards.
Right.
And Burrow's going to have little to no chance. But the point is, Burrow, it's only 3rd and 3. You have to have it set in your head before the snap. I'm going here, and it's going to be 2.5 seconds.
Well, how about this, Skip? How about call a play that doesn't require Joe Burrow to hold the ball?
I agree.
How about this?
And surely they did.
How about this, Skip? You do got Joe Mixon in the backfield.
You got
How about
Joe
running the ball? Skip, you look at Joe Mixon has 15 carries for 72 yards. Why aren't you running more?
It's pretty good. Try draw play. I try something.
What do we
swing it to him?
What did we talk about, Skip? Could their offensive line hold up against the Rams' defensive line? Skip, they're going to get him hurt. He got nicked, and I don't believe if it's been any other game, I'm not so sure he finishes this game.
I agree.
Because this the Super Bowl, he stays in there.
I'm starting to worry if he's going to finish his career.
Thank you.
Yes.
Skip, you can't get hit that many times. You talk about the guy got sacked 19 times in 4 playoff games. Project that out over 17 games. He will play one more season after he would not play another season. You get sacked 17, 35. That's 85 sacks.
You won't laugh.
No.
It's too, and he's not. He likes to play physically, but he's not physical.
Yeah,
we're not talking about Cam Newton, and Cam's taking his beating.
Skip, that sounds good. Oh, he loves the physicality. Quarterbacks don't like getting hit like that.
Okay. So in the end, the Bengals actually put up stats that were equal to the Rams.
Yeah, very even game.
Very even game.
Yes.
And you realize that teams came into this game, Super Bowl teams who won the turnover battle were 38-5 in Super Bowls. Well, guess who won the turnover battle?
They got 2 and gave up none.
The Bengals won it 2-0.
Yep.
And they lost. So now it's 38-6 are those teams that won the turnover battle in Super Bowls.
Skip, you can't go 3 or 14.
You can't.
1 or 3 on 4th down.
You can't. It's
and
just
it's too much. It's too much to overcome.
While your defense hung in about as well as you could ask them to hang in, because look what they did to the Rams running game. Not that it was vaunted, but they held them to 1.9 yards per carry. 1.9? What is it? 23 rushes for 43 yards?
Skip.
What?
Remember we talked about Sean McVay in the first Super Bowl. He got away from the run. The Patriots shut him down, and all of a sudden he throw, play into his hand. Even though he was only getting 1, I want you to think about it.
Yep.
I still want you to think that I might hand this ball off. And that was the difference. Also, Skip, red zone.
3 for 3 versus 1 of 3.
Okay.
That won't get, that's sort of the bottom line.
You win championships by scoring touchdowns, not kicking field goals.
Yeah. And it goes all the way down to the winning throw from Matt Stafford to Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And they had played fairly well on Cooper Kupp until that last drive. And then it comes down to the last play, the little fade.
Yeah, Eli Apple, he did a good job starting.
Okay, but what are you doing Why would you just put Eli Apple? He's your weak link at cornerback to me. He always has been. He has talent, but he gives up a lot of points.
He hasn't really fulfilled that talent.
No.
Skip, but Sean McVay did a great thing last night. He said, I know y'all want to double Cooper Kupp. Find him. He lined him up outside more than we'd ever seen him, Skip. Outside. Put him in the backfield. Put him in the slot. Make him number 2 instead of number 3. Make him number 1 instead of 2 or 3. They did a great job of forcing the Bengals defense. You want to double him? Well, find where he is then. Locate him. And then see if you can double him. They did a great job. Cooper Kupp is an outstanding route runner, Skip. And he's bigger than you think. He's like 6'1", 6'2", 210-ish.
He's 210-ish.
So that's ginormous for a slot receiver.
Yeah.
Normally those guys are Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Cole Beasley type guys.
I can't even dismiss him as a slot receiver because he lines up everywhere, and he definitely lines up outside. They just put him all over the place because it's hard to figure him out.
They had to because they lost Odell. They did a great thing with Odell. They put Odell at the 3 and let him run a fade from the 3 position.
Well, he ran out of the slot.
Yeah. Exactly. So they did a great job. Odell was on the cusp of having a big game last night. And think about it, Skip. When he went down until they got that game-winning drive, their offense became very stagnant. They became very stagnant. But we talked about this, Skip. This was the thing. Can they hold up against that front four? Could they? If they can hold up, they can win. Aaron Donald in the second half, that defensive line, Raheem Morris called a great game plan. He said, guys, we have got to win. Skip, if you see what they did with Aaron Donald, they moved him up and down the line. They did a lot of putting him and Von Miller on the same side. Okay, handle this. Now Leonard Floyd got hurt. So now he hurts his groin. So now how can we generate pressure? Aaron Donald, you can Skip. There's something that clicked with this man. And if you get on different levels, they did a lot of ETs and TE twists, which means the tackle in and the end tackle to do a stunt, Skip. If you get on different levels against Aaron Donald, Skip, he's going to hit a crease. He does a great job of getting skinny and getting through that crease. And you sell every time, you got to be careful with him. Skip, last night he showed you. He showed you.
Against the Bayless.
No, Skip. You told me you wanted him to flat jump off your screen. He should have been in your living room. He should have been in the living room with you, Hazel, and Ernestine. Mm-hmm. You probably in somewhere else you didn't want to watch with.
Just me and Hazel.
Hold up. How you going to kick her? She like the Super Bowl, too.
There's no way she'd watch any game with me because she thinks I'm a psycho, and I am.
No, it's you. Yeah. Exactly. Ain't no talking about she wouldn't watch. You done went in the room and closed the door.
I did.
Oh, my gosh. We are so far from done discussing this game because it felt like there was everything. So much action. Did Cooper Kupp just prove he is the best receiver in football after winning MVP? Yeah. And what does OBJ's future hold despite leaving early with that injury? Obviously, he was so emotional, but he got the win. Packed Super Bowl show. Stick around for more on Undisputed. No mercy. Cooper Kupp was named Super Bowl MVP after catching 8 passes for 92 yards and 2 TDs, including the game winner with less than 2 minutes to go to cap a 15-play, 72-yard drive that had his fingerprints all over it. And after being named just the 8th receiver to ever win the award, Kupp was humble after the game, saying, quote, "I don't feel deserving for this. I'm just so thankful for the guys I get to be around." What a season for Kupp. Shannon, did Kupp deserve to win MVP?
Skip, I don't want to shortchange him. I don't want to say he didn't deserve, but I believe Aaron Donald was more deserving. I think Aaron Donald's impact on the game was greater. Skip, that 3rd down stop, that 4th down stop, that was textbook Aaron Donald. You see he took the game over. Their defense took the game over. Aaron Donald showed. Did he Skip, I just want to know one thing. I know you got your new TV because every year you buy new TVs for the Super Bowl. Did he jump off your screen?
I got a black and white.
They don't sell black and white anymore.
You got like a movie screen up in your palatial estate the size of cinema scope.
I did, but Skip, I was field level yesterday. Yeah. And the last play.
You were at the game.
Yeah, I was at the game. And I was like, did you just see? I looked at I was like, did you just see that? Richard Seymour was also in the bar. And congratulations, C. He posts the guy, the offensive lineman, he posts him, grab P. Ryan, and snatches him back. Skip, P. Ryan is 240
I told
pounds.
You that was his best play of the game. Best play.
And then he says, you know what? They call him Aaron Benediction Donald. Because when you...
I never heard
that. That's what I just called him that. Because, if you go to church, Skip, you cannot leave without getting the benediction.
Well, you can.
No, you can't. No. You can't
sneak out.
Aaron Donald said, it's over. He says it's over. I'm going to end this. Skip, I would never be dismissive. Cooper Kupp just had the greatest statistical season. No, forget stats. He had the greatest season a receiver has ever had in the 100-plus year history of the NFL.
Yep.
Skip, he's almost 500 yards clear of the next closest, which is Larry Fitzgerald. 33 catches in the postseason. So the numbers speak for themselves. I just believe Aaron Donald, after what he did yesterday, last night, he was more deserving than Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was fabulous. That last drive, he was sensational. Aaron Donald took the game over for the entirety of the second half. I believe Aaron Donald. Skip, it goes back to when they gave it to Julian Edelman. I thought Stephon Gilmore, because you and I had that same discussion. He had a sack. He forced a fumble. He had 5 tackles.
I couldn't argue with that one. In fact, I thought Brady deserved it more than Edelman did, but that's just me.
And so, yes, I do believe Aaron Donald. I think, Skip, that would have, had he won Super Bowl MVP, Skip, I think I would have really had to give, I would have said LT is 1A, Aaron Donald would be 1B had he won that award. And I do believe he was more deserving of winning that award than Cooper Kupp.
Okay, I take nothing away from what your man AD, the true AD in L.A. There's only one AD in L.A.
There you
and he
go.
plays for
there
the
you
Rams.
Go. There you go.
Not for the Lakers, but for the Rams. Am I right?
Yeah, AD.
Ramrod.
Yes.
He is the Ramrod. And I do not discount any of the above. And I told you this year, for the first time in his 8 years in the league, now he's talking about retiring. I'm like, what?
No.
You don't need to be talking about retirement.
You know what he's talking about retirement for, Skip? You see Myles Garrett's contract? You see Joey Bosa's contract? You see T.J. Watt's contract? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Tom Brady's going to come back at age 45 to play. So Aaron's like just entering his prime.
Yeah.
He's just fine. The point is, if we do degree, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my point, which was this year he leaped off my screen, my TV screen, more than ever.
Okay.
He flashed for me, and he flashed last night. But you have to take into account degree of difficulty. This is the Rams, the same Bengals line that gave up 51 sacks in the regular season, plus 19 more in the playoffs for a grand total of 70. It's fish in a barrel. It's like, whose turn is it to get to the quarterback? Because I look at quarterback hits last night, and your man Von Miller from your Denver Broncos had 3 hits on the quarterback and 2 sacks, as did Aaron, 3 hits on the quarterback and 2 sacks, as did Ernest Jones, the rookie out of South Carolina, who had 3 hits on the quarterback, but just 1 sack. But he was all over the field. Every time I looked up, 50 was in the mix. He was disrupting somebody somewhere on a blitz or on a pass breakup.
That pass breakup was huge on the 4th down. When you talk about he tipped it from Chase.
He did.
What you call him should have went to Joe Mixon in the flat.
He should have, and I agree with that. But my point is, they're all feasting. It's like, whose turn is it? It just depends how they lined up on who. And the weak link was Adeniji. And I just told you in our A block to start the show that the pass block win rate was only 14% for the Bengals offensive line, the lowest of any single game this whole NFL season. So you can see they were up against it. You talked all week about it. I never fought back. I thought Joe Burrow would go down 5 times last night, and he went down 7 times. He went down a couple of times in really key spots where you just can't eat the ball. He's great at eating the ball, and it saves you the stat of turnovers, which can obviously impact the scoreboard, but it doesn't help you win. It's like when you eat the football on a sack and you don't sack fumble, all it does is it's playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win the game. Brady's not going to take 7 sacks in a Super Bowl. He's not going to take 9 sacks in any playoff game. So that ate me alive watching him getting eaten alive by that pass rush, because there's a way to defeat it, and it's called 2.5 seconds or less. You just find somebody and throw it to them. Maybe they're missing a little Edelman Amendola sort of slot receiver who can just run a little inside option route for 3 yards, like a Hunter Renfrow. He can just sort of scoot loose all of a sudden, and you can just pop it to him, right? Okay. The point is that the degree of difficulty for Cooper Kupp was 10 times more than Aaron Donald's degree of difficulty, because Cooper Kupp loses his number 2 receiver, obviously, late in the first half. And now you got to play the whole second half. getting doubled, tripled. I hope every design was designed, as you said earlier in the show. It's just, you got to eliminate him. You got to force him to uncover from 2 or 3 defenders. And in that last drive, the last ditch 15-play, 72-yard drive, he was just extraordinary. And the first play was a run play. And if we could see this, it's 4th and 1 at the Rams 30.
Yeah.
This is with 5 minutes left. If you blow this one, you're going to lose this game. This is it.
It's over. This is the game right here.
This is the game. And he runs that little. It's like a slot reverse, but it's a little, you can call it a jet sweep. But,
jet handoff.
But he came from the slot, so it's not a wide receiver jet sweep.
Right.
It's like a little stutter step, go in motion, stop, start. And then all of a sudden he goes. And then you were talking, listen, he's good enough running with the football. I would be tempted to use him a little Debo-ish every once in a while.
He got that kind of physicality.
He's pretty physical. He's pretty quick.
He's tremendous run after the catch. He's tremendous run after the catch.
He's got incredibly quick feet.
Yes.
Where it's just it's hard to get him on the ground. Remember the first catch of the game? He just breaks loose like they missed the tackle over on the boundary, and he just goes for like 10 more yards.
Yes.
Well, to me, it starts with that, and then he raved after the game. I just got to show this play because I can't really see what he's talking about, but it's a 2nd and 7 play at the 46, at the Cincinnati 46. And this is, Cooper Kupp called this the greatest no-look pass he's ever seen.
Yeah, he threw
because the tight end hooks in the short zone,
right,
and Cooper Kupp runs kind of a deeper in cut, and he's saying that Matt Stafford is looking at the tight end and throwing it across.
Yeah, if you watch the safety drive. Yep. That's why he's driving it.
No look. It is a no look.
That's why he drove.
Okay. And Cooper Kupp has such high IQ that he's aware enough to see it's a no look.
Yes.
And to know. And I got to tell you, maybe Matt should try more of those because that was the best pass he threw all night.
Well, actually, Skip, he's been doing that, but when you're in Detroit,
you just don't know.
Nobody.
That's why Bruce Arians said there's one guy I go out early to watch warm up.
Right.
It's Matthew Stafford because of the arm talent.
Skip, you remember Aaron Rodgers a couple of years ago talking about everybody doing the no look.
Yep.
They need to get that guy in Detroit some credit because he was the first way.
Well, he was doing it way before
Brett Favre used to throw no look passes. Yeah, but this kid here was doing it all along.
He's 34 now, so
he ain't really a kid. But I'm saying, a lot of times, Skip, when you play on a bad team, a lot of your good exploits go unnoticed. Well, if you're that good, why you not winning more? Now he's with the Rams. He's doing exactly because guess what? He turned the ball over. He's turnover prone. He turned the ball over to Detroit.
He did.
But they weren't good enough to overcome it.
I agree.
He's with the Rams. You turn it over. You're good enough to overcome it. And people are like, okay, he just had, one bad moment. But Skip, Aaron Donald, those 2 plays, Skip, those 2 plays.
I got it. But Shannon, maybe I'm doing body of work for the year.
Oh, yeah.
This kid was the heart and soul of this whole
I'm not arguing
this whole show where number 10, and I say little number 10 because he looks little. He does go 210 with number 10. But the point is he dominated games in a way I never thought possible. And if you want to accuse me of being reverse racist here today, you can. But I've told you all year, I've said this about 20 times. I just never thought we'd come to this point in the evolution of the National Football League and see a white, and he is a wide receiver by trade. He's not just a Edelman Amendola slot receiver.
No. He's better than those guys. I'm sorry. He's better than those guys.
He won the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
He won Offensive Player of the Year, and you can't really have a problem with it because he was that guy.
Yes.
And then in the Super Bowl, well, heck, in the Super Bowl, every playoff game, he was that guy. Mm-hmm. He sent the GOAT home.
Yes.
He sent him off into the sunset. Right. He's down in Costa Rica now on the beach with Giselle.
But
the point is, he ran a quote-unquote decoy route, and he blew right by Antoine Winfield Jr., and he caught the lob. Matt just threw it up to him, and he ran under it and caught it to win the game at Tampa Bay, right?
Skip, you said that. On that play that he threw the no-look, I'm field level, I'm looking. I'm like, why is the safety driving on the tight end? I didn't know it until I saw the replay when I got home. He's looking at the tight end. So the DB, what's your instincts? You stare at the receiver. He stared him down. That's why he got the pick. He's looking dead at the tight end.
Yep.
The safety drives. He throws the ball to end cut to Cooper Kupp.
Right. I got it. So I think back of my time watching white receivers, a dying breed for the most part, and I have to go back to guys before my time, like Don Hudson and Raymond Barry. I don't even know.
Elroy Hurst, Crazy Legs.
Okay, those are the kind of guys who used
Charlie
to dominate this
Hennigan.
game. You could do that, and then maybe Dwight Clark for a little while, but not like this.
No, you know who you got to go back to? Talking about consistent.
And Biletnikoff.
Chris Collinsworth.
Okay, Chris Collinsworth. I'll give you
You
that.
remember
That's a Bengal,
Collinsworth, but he
they
was
got to the
Chris
Super
was a
Bowl.
big receiver. Chris was 6'4".
6'5".
Yeah,
6'5".
so he's a big guy.
Yeah, I
Chris
agree.
won the 100 meters in the state of Florida in 200.
That's an extraordinary combo of size
in and of itself.
Speed.
He was that white dude won the 100 and 200 in the state of Florida.
I got it. And then we came up to Jordy Nelson with Aaron, and they had a great connection.
Yeah, I played with Ed.
And Ed McCaffrey.
Skip, you remember in the Super Bowl when they played him, and he tore his knee up before they got there. And, man, it's going to be, Cooper Kupp can move the chains. I'm
glad you brought it up because he did not play against Brady.
Right.
When they lost 13-3, there's no Cooper Kupp.
Right.
Okay, well, that's a huge loss.
Huge.
Because, and again, would he have had the same connection with Jared Goff?
He wasn't then what he is now, but he's a stick mover. He's a good first down. 3rd and 5, first down. Skip, look. This is why you make the move for Matthew Stafford. You and I both know Jared Goff's not winning this game.
I don't know.
Jared Goff's not winning this one.
Listen, I saw Jared Goff do extraordinary things. He outdueled Mahomes in that Monday night game.
Yes.
And Mahomes came apart at the end of the game, and then he outdueled Dak in a game I thought Dak
That
played
ain't
very
saying
well
much.
in. Well, he did.
Yeah, a lot of people outdueled Dak.
Okay, well, Dak played pretty well in that game. It was 30-22, and Jared Goff made the play of the game on a rollout call that he just kept the ball. I think Jared Goff is still underrated, but what is not rated enough is the spiritual connection that Matt Stafford immediately developed with Cooper Kupp because he saw it right away. That's my guy. Yeah. That's my lifeblood. When in doubt, I got to throw it to Cooper Kupp. And nobody could stop it. Nobody. No. All these playoff teams in a row could not deal with
playoff team. The 17 teams.
Well,
the 17 teams that he played in the regular season.
But you would think after the regular season, you'd say, okay, what's Belichick say? I will take away your strength.
Yeah.
Nobody could take away their strength because he gets out in space and he's just unguardable.
Yeah.
And his feet are quicker than you give it credit for.
Jim, do we have those two plays, Aaron Donald? We got to go back and look at this. I say the hardest thing in football to do is to move a man against his will. He says, I'm not going anywhere. And Aaron Donald says, I'll be damned. You're leaving this plot of land here. Skip, look at this. That's like, hold on. 77. I'm not, look at this. He posts him, grabs him with one arm. Come here.
That was raw strength.
Now look at this on the edge. Skip, you can't let him get a crack because he can get skinny.
Burrow almost pulled off a miracle. Almost. That was within catch radius of Pirine. I think it shocked Pirine that the ball even came toward him.
He wasn't expecting it.
He wasn't ready.
So like I said, Skip, I'm never going to be dismissive because I know how hard it is to do what Cooper Kupp has done. My brother won the Triple Crown, and I know he did. Yeah, he won. Jerry won it, and then my brother won it in 92. Jerry won it, I think, in 90. My brother won it in 92.
Sterling Sharpe
won
the Triple Crown. I did not know that.
He won the Triple Crown. He did, Skip. So it's only 4 guys to win.
Passes from Brett Favre.
Yep. As a matter of fact, that was Brett's first year.
Yep.
That was Brett's first year.
Okay.
So there's only been 4 receivers, and I know how he felt after that, the toll that it took on his body. And he only caught 108 passes. This kid caught 145 passes, over 170 targets.
And then he set the record for playoff catches for the total playoffs.
Yes.
What was it?
He caught 33, so 178 total passes.
Okay.
Just over 2,400 yards.
Yeah. Again, I'm going slightly on body of work, but I just don't know how you can take the MVP away from him. And I take nothing away from Aaron. But listen, Von Miller was right there in the stats with him, and Ernest Jones was right there.
Yeah.
He was right there. So it's like, who wants it? Anybody. If you're playing against a better offensive line, if the Rams defensive line had been playing against the Rams offensive line in this game, then I would give it to Aaron Donald. But they weren't, because Cincinnati's offensive line, obviously, their offseason goal must be, their mission must be to beef this line.
Oh, well, if there's any offensive lineman that's available in free agency, they should sign them because they got a lot of money. But their first 3 or 4 draft picks should be offensive linemen, Skip. They've got it because, unfortunately, as great a prognostication as you might have for this Bengals team, this young team, Joe Burrow is 25 and Chase is 21 and Higgins and all. He's not going to make it to C27 behind that offensive line.
Right, and they do have top 5 cap room. They're notorious for not spending
Mike Brown is cheap. Mike Brown ain't spending no money.
All right, well, he's got to spend a large portion of that. And to your point, you got to go O-line, 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 because Adeniji is playing every snap last night. He's a 6th rounder out of Kansas. He's just not good enough.
I mean, they have addressed it. Jonah Williams, they took him with the 10th pick out of Alabama.
Yep.
But you got to get guard play, Skip, because that's the closest position that's the closest distance to the quarterback. So if you got a good defensive tackle, which Aaron Donald is not good, he's great. He's going to be in your quarterback's lap all game long.
All game long. And they did okay for a half.
Yes.
You got to give them that. And then they just got beaten down in the second
Skip, that's what I said. If you think about it, Skip, Joe Burrow threw for 263 yards. He had a 75-yarder and a 46-yarder. Mm-hmm. So on the other 31 attempps, he was 140. He was 120 yards. Mm-hmm. So that just lets you. But you got to be okay with that, Skip. You got to be okay. I'm gonna take these 3 and move on. I'm gonna take these 5 and move on. I'm good with that. You can't. But see, big plays. Remember, down the stretch, Skip, how many big plays did he hit to Chase? How many big plays did T. Higgins? And you get that mindset, we got to get this big play. In order to get a big play, you got to hold on to the ball.
A little bit, or you got to beat the rush, and he beat it a couple times last time. He beat the rush on the 75-yarder to start the half, where he stepped up through
the pocket.
Yeah. And he actually kind of threw it on the run. Mm-hmm. It was a wrong-footed throw, but he threw it on the run going forward and didn't get enough on the ball because it was slightly underthrown, which made it a jump ball.
Right.
Which is why that ensued.
Yes. But like I said, look, I'm not going to dismiss what Cooper Kupp has done this season. I'm definitely not going to dismiss what he did in the game. But I thought Aaron Donald,
Okay, I got it. But I will bet you if you took a vote in that locker room, I don't think anybody would have a problem with Cooper Kupp winning that award.
No.
Not that anybody has anything against Aaron Donald in the locker room because they love him.
Right.
But I think if you took a vote in the locker room of MVP, they would vote for Cooper Kupp.
Skip, can you believe this? On his last 22 dropbacks, he got sacked 7 times.
Yeah, I can.
Skip, 22 dropbacks.
I got it. But
so every third time you drop back, Skip, you on your back.
I got to tell you, there's a little deer in headlights going on there. Where after a while, you're just freezing up. You just got to cut loose.
Skip, it's just like somebody waved their hand in front of your face. Your eyes blink. You might not be scared, but that's just instinct. You go down that many times. The man went down 19 times in 4 games, Skip. He went down 16 in 2 games.
Yeah, he's actually pretty good at not getting rocked, where he takes some blindside shot where his head's whiplashing.
Right. He didn't. But you know what, Skip? Aaron Donald does a great job. He never falls on the quarterback. If you notice,
no,
Skip,
he's very good at that.
He throws the quarterback down.
He's very gentle with them. Yeah. No, I agree.
He'll sling him down. But Bond played well. Bond played himself into it.
The worst shot he took at Burrow was on the sideline when he ran him down. He got a sack for it, but he just shoved him out of bounds.
But Skip, my thing is, why would the offensive lineman run over to Donald and shove him? What did he think? Joe Burrow was in bounds.
Yeah, he pushed him.
Yeah.
He pushed him hard, and Burrow went completely under the bench.
But Skip, he didn't push it while he was out of bounds, was my point.
It was legal. I'll give you legal.
And the offensive lineman come running over there like...
You know how they are.
Bro,
that might have been the hardest they hit Aaron Donald all night, right? Was after the play on that play.
Yes. But he was sensational. This defensive line, it showed, okay, Cincy, can you block him? Rams, can you get home? We can get home. We couldn't block him. That was bad, Skip. That was bad. It's been a long time since I've seen somebody get sacked that many times in a Super Bowl.
And yet it was 23-20.
I think your Cowboys picked off Craig Morton. No, your Cowboys picked off Craig Morton. I think they picked him off like 7 or 8 times.
Okay, but Roger Staubach was the other 7 sacks in a Super Bowl, and it was the first Pittsburgh one. My first Super Bowl I ever attended, which was Super Bowl 10 in Miami.
Okay, yeah.
When the Steelers
they were loaded.
They
Joe Green, L.C. Goodwood, Ernie Holmes.
Hey, they just beat them up is what they did.
Lambert, Ham, they were loaded.
In that corner.
Oh,
Mr. Blunt.
left. Oh, yeah, Mel Blunt.
Yeah.
Mel Blunt. Well, they changed the rule for him. Ooh. The 5-yard rule was instituted because Mel was taking people 10 yards down the field and throwing them out of bounds.
Remember little Golden Richards? Speaking of little white guys, he broke his ribs in the game. No play. Go ahead. Sorry.
Your memories of what has happened in the past, it's unbelievable sometimes the way you guys remember these moments. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to stick to the present and what we saw last night. And Odell Beckham Jr., look, guys, he got off to a fast start last night as he scored a touchdown in the first quarter. But a knee injury in the first half left him sidelined during the rest of the game. And when asked about the extent of his injury after, OBJ said, quote, "We don't know yet. We're going to wait to hear. I was trying to go back out there." And yeah, of course he wanted to be a factor. So Shannon, did Odell prove he's back to being a top receiver? I was devastated when he went down.
Yes, I was too with Jenny. Yes, he proved that, Skip. I don't believe they win the Super Bowl. I don't believe they're in the Super Bowl without Odell. And if you saw Skip, he was getting better and better. The first game, the Cardinals, and then the next game against Tampa, and then the next game against San Francisco, and he started out this game faster than he did any of those games. So it looked like what they were trying to do, they were going to take Cooper Kupp away, and they were going to roll the dice. Either Eli Apple, you take him man-to-man, he's on your side, or Woozier, you take him man-to-man, he's on your side. He got Hilton in the slot, playing the number 3 position. Hilton is considered the best slot corner in the football. And Odell got behind him like it was
but he's up there.
Yeah, especially come playoff time. He's been sensational. He's been lights out in the playoffs. And so for me, Skip, I think he had proved that I'm Odell, because the Rams had done a great job of playing to what Odell does really well, Skip. He's very good route runner. He's a great route runner. He has tremendous lateral quickness and allowing him to high point the football. They can catch on Hilton in the end zone. He high pointed the football. He's a hand catcher. And so they've done a great job of putting him in position so he can use his hands, so he can use his quickness. I believe he had silenced the critics. They said, okay, this is the Odell. He's getting back to being the Odell that we saw in New York. That's what I thought they had. Now, we don't know the extent of his injury. Hopefully, knocking on wood, is something that he can come back from fairly quickly. But if it's an ACL, Skip,
I think it's an ACL.
Skip, you look at
they're reporting.
You're looking at the earliest he's getting back is November, December. That's at the earliest, because he's not going to have surgery probably till what, end of this month, maybe the beginning of March. So even Adrian Peterson, who was bionic, it still took him 8 months to get back. So even he goes on the timeline the AP did. You're looking at November, December, maybe even January.
It's why Kawhi Leonard is not going to be back for this basketball season.
Exactly.
It doesn't make 12 months.
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So,
and as Brady said a month or so ago, this is a lifetime injury. Once you tear an ACL, it's so crucial to the movement of the knee that it's hard to ever get it right. And it went again.
Right. It did. And Skip, you see the way he had 2 catches. They had thrown him 2 targets. He had 52 yards. He was on his way to having a monster game. Odell was going to, because they had made an effort. They were going to take Cooper Kupp away. And Matthew Stafford did not have a problem. How many times can he throw the ball to Van Jefferson and Van Jefferson's not there to answer his call? How many times can he throw the ball to Swanwick and he's not there to answer the call? It came down to Patrick and it came down to Cooper Kupp. And on that last drive, Cooper Kupp ended up with 8 for 92. 4 of those came on the last drive, Skip. So for me, Odell proved that he was back to being Odell again, and unfortunately, he suffered an injury in the Super Bowl.
Okay, when you say he proved he's back to being a top receiver, are we talking about a top 10 receiver? What kind of is he an absolute number 1 receiver now? Yes.
But
not a top 10 receiver.
I believe he was a top 10 receiver. I believe Odell had played his way, he was in that kind of shape. His mind was where it needed to be. There was no more distractions. He had grown up. He understood who and what he was, and he was content with that. Yes, I do believe Odell Beckham was going to be that top 10 receiver this year.
Okay. All right. I'm going to preface everything I say about Odell Beckham Jr. with, I really like him off the field, and I agree with your premise that he has grown up and wised up and become a man and a professional right before your eyes, because we went through this whole year with it was the back half of the year, but it was very all quiet on the Western Front, right?
Yes.
We heard nothing out of Odell. There was no diva behavior. There was no wave making. He was content. He barely caught many passes down the 8 games that he did play. He was catching 3 a game for about 38 yards, but he did not complain.
Right.
He just came to work.
Right.
And it looked like he worked hard to figure out Matt Stafford and vice versa. And once they got to the playoffs, to your point, it started to click.
Right.
And it started to produce at a higher and higher rate. My issue with Odell was simply he had a chance. He could have gone home to New Orleans. They wanted him, by all accounts, badly. They don't have Mike Thomas, obviously, and Odell could have gone right down to New Orleans, again, without a clear-cut number one quarterback.
Right.
But you could have gone in there and said, I'm number one here. I'm going to take this team over.
Well,
right?
there's number one with no quarterback.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to, you could just say, I'm the guy. I'm going to my hometown to turn my hometown team around because it lost its number one receiver, a guy who he won Offensive Player of the Year, right? Was it?
Yeah, no, what you call him won it. The only one receiver, Jerry won it.
Didn't Mike Thomas win? I thought he won it. Didn't he?
don't
Didn't he
think
win
so.
the award? Seemed like he won something, or MVP or something.
No, he didn't win MVP.
Okay, but he won.
Yeah, he might have won Offensive Player
I
of the
think he
Year.
won Offensive Player of the Year. But anyway,
Okay.
The point is, it shocked me when Odell chose the Rams because the guy we're not talking about yet is Robert Woods.
Right.
And you acknowledged to me that when Odell got there, Robert Woods was definitely better than Odell at this stage of his career.
Yes.
You said that. Well, what if they'd had Robert Woods last night? Lord have mercy.
And that
right?
was but here's the thing. Is Odell better than Jefferson and the other guy?
For a while, it was a push with Jefferson because they do like Jefferson because he can run now.
That's why they
But he's not trustable on running the route.
That's why they signed Odell, because you was thinking, hold on, we got Kupp 1, Woods 2, our third receiver would be Odell.
That's what they were thinking. That
And
is
then
correct.
all of a sudden, Robert,
if it worked with Odell and they couldn't be sure, but they were going to bring him in and hope. And remember, he's had 3 surgeries in the last
3 years.
3 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 surgeries because he's had all kinds of things go wrong.
And he broke
told
his
you,
ankle, had an ankle
it
surgery,
robbed him
hernia.
a little bit of quickness and speed. Although I will give you this, early on last night, that's why it got me that he got hurt because I wanted to see him finish the game and
Right.
see what happened because this Bengals team has one thing going for it. It won't go away.
No.
You think you got him and you don't got him.
Right.
And they'll just keep on keeping on fighting because they'll fight you on defense is where they'll fight you.
Yes.
And they'll make plays because they were hot as a defense, opportunistically
Right.
hot.
Right.
So I wanted this thing to get hot in the second half where we could see Odell rise and shine. But again, where he was brilliant in his choice, you want to talk about shining in a shadow? You're shining in the shadow of the most productive receiver in the history of the game for 1 year, right?
But that's the thing, though, Skip. You saw the explosion that he showed on that shallow cross.
Yeah, I
he
love
caught that ball.
That one especially.
Now he showed the explosion. But see, Skip, that's the thing. Jefferson can do that. There's still Cooper Kupp over there. Jefferson couldn't make those plays.
I'll give you that. He's better than Jefferson. I don't think he's better than Robert Woods because Robert Woods is hellacious.
Robert Woods.
You want to talk about running across the middle routes?
Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are more alike than Odell and Kupp or Odell and Woods.
That is true. So especially if they had remember, Robert Woods tears his ACL the day Odell walks in the door and in practice on a Friday. Remember this? Mm-hmm. How do you tear your ACL?
Right.
Who knows? It's like the injury God said, sorry, right, for this year. And he was the guy comforting Odell in the locker room last night, said I was holding him, hugging him. Right. Because you don't think Robert Woods can relate.
Exactly. And Skip, I know. I tore my MCL in the Super Bowl 33, so I know what Odell is good. The only thing the only saving grace is that we won the game. Can you imagine you going out injured and you lose the game knowing that you was going to be a major contributor?
Yep.
You had started off being a major contributor. A touchdown, a 35-yard catch and run. You're like, oh yeah, I'm in the money. You had 2 touchdowns on the first 4 drives. And then guess what happened, Skip? That thing went real stagnant.
Yep.
It went real stagnant.
No, I agree. And I will give you this in closing on Odell. That touchdown catch was a good route because remember, he and Baker were always not on the same page. Right. And Baker's camp was always saying he's breaking off routes. He's freelancing routes.
Right.
They just never connected. And this touchdown throw, number one, it's a really good throw.
It's a great throw.
You can't throw it any better than he threw it. And number two, you got Odell at his peak just going up. That he does that. That's he is a hands catcher.
Yes.
Well, hey, he just might be the best hands catcher in the history of the game because the pregame shows are better than the in-game shows a lot of times, right?
He has tremendous hands.
Yeah.
But Skip, I think the thing is that, you said to go to New Orleans. Skip, Taysom Hill. Jameis had gotten hurt. You got Trevor Siemian. I'm not going there. I'm not going there to be a number one. I always go back and look at what could D. Hopkins' numbers look like if he wasn't catching balls from Keenum and Brock Osweiler and Tom Savage and this one and that one, had he had a legit quarterback. Now, he made Pro Bowls, he made All Pros, but just think about what his numbers could look like with a true number one quarterback. Odell says, you know what? I would rather go somewhere, be 2 or 3 with a solid quarterback as opposed to going somewhere and being number one, and I ain't got no quarterback. Because guess what, Skip? I'm going to get 2 to 3 passes, and people going to say, Odell can't get it done. Because I don't have the quarterback that's capable of getting me the football. He went, and Matthew Stafford showed, giving him the opportunity, Odell can play.
Well, and yet what I hated the most for him last night was he is a free agent once again. He could have commanded big dollars if he had finished off this game as you say, a monster game. And I also think the USFL would come into play for Odell because they're going to want a big gate attraction, and I think he will be a big draw.
No, we ain't got nothing for him.
Well, they're going to have a bunch of money to spend, trust me.
That is interesting. The last thing he tweeted last night was, thank you all for the love and support. God always has a plan. He made me a Super Bowl champ. I'm so grateful. So at least he's optimistic in that way. And he's got a baby on the way. Like, there's a lot of good things going for OBJ. I'm just happy he found the home. And the tears, it was emotional seeing him after they engaged. No mercy. Matthew Stafford helped the Rams cash in on acquiring him last offseason in a big way with a 23-20 Super Bowl win. The former top overall pick threw 2 picks, but he threw 3 touchdowns, including the game winner to Kupp to get it done. So, Shannon, please give Matthew Stafford a letter grade for his Super Bowl performance.
Skip, I gave him an A. Because, yes, I did. Because, Skip, he's playing without 3 of his top 4 targets. No Odell, no Robert Woods, no Tyler Higbee. So now he's out there with Kupp. And a 15-play, that's a legacy drive. This is a defining moment. You know, you look at Tom Brady, what he did. You say that last drive to get him in field goal range. Getting them in field goal range wasn't going to be good enough. He had to get them into the end zone. Remind you, they've only had 1 drive going into the Super Bowl. They had 1 drive of at least 15 plays. 1 drive the entire season. So in all the games, 17, 20 games, coming into the Super Bowl, they'd only had 1. And he says, you know what? It's either now or never. And it had a very interesting conversation at the championship game. As I said, I was in the box next to his wife. One of his best friends is Marvin Jones Jr. And he said, oh, let me rap to you about something. He said, 9 live for moments like this. He says there's something about when it gets to the 4th quarter and all the chips need to be pushed to the table, his eyes get big and there's a calm that comes over him. He says, watch him in this moment. Watch what he does. Watch how he handles this moment. I saw that calmness that Marvin was talking. I saw it in that game, but then I said, hey, man, that's your homeboy. Of course you're going to say all the good things about him. But I watched him. He was flawless that last drive, Skip. He never put the ball in harm's way. There was not one chance that ball was ever going to be in harm's way. And he made it up in his mind. Kupp, get open. I'm coming to you with the ball. He did come to Patrick a couple of times, Skip, but other than that, nobody else was going to touch the football. 15 plays to go down and have to do that. That was a legacy drive because had he not got it done, everybody was going to say what? The same Matthew Stafford that was in Detroit that had great numbers, great stats, but never had the big moment in a big game. He shut all that down because he needed it. Guess what? He got that in San Francisco. They were down 10, 4th quarter. Down in the Super Bowl, 4th quarter. Had to go get had to go 50, 44 yards to get in field goal range against Tampa to go. So, Skip, I just don't, the toughness that he showed, I don't know how he came back. You saw how he rolled his foot because that was like it got his toe, it got his midfoot, it got his ankle. He hobbled off the field. So I ain't going out like this. You brought me here for a reason. Now it's time to deliver. If you paid extra, that's what I say, Skip. In FedEx, they say you want to deliver the next day. Extra, you want it by 10 a.m.? You want it by mid-noon? If you want it by 10 a.m., you got to do what? You got to pay extra. The Rams paid extra to get him. We gave up 2 1s and a quarterback that had taken us to a Super Bowl. And he delivered. When it absolutely positively had to get there overnight, Matthew Stafford brought it home. Super Bowl champ.
I remember how he delivered when his eyes must have gotten really big. He threw one, he delivered it special to Tart with 9 minutes left in the San Francisco game. Threw it right to him.
Did he catch it?
It would have changed the game. I'm pretty sure San Francisco would have played last night instead of Los Angeles, right? I don't know, but let's just forget about that.
Okay.
Let's sweep it under your little carpet.
No.
Over
The
there.
10 point. I ain't sweep that 10 point deficit that he overcame under my little carpet.
Okay. I can muster up a B for Matt Stafford.
You mustered up a B.
Muster up a B for Matt Stafford last night because he did lead the National Football League in interceptions this past regular season. And last night he did throw 2 while Joe Burrow threw none.
He threw 1.
Who?
It's Stafford. The other one didn't count.
Didn't count?
He threw a hold on. We're going to call those Brady interceptions. Because anytime he hit a player's hand and gets carried, we don't get that interception to Brady. So that's what Pro Football Focus said. So that's a Brady pick. That's what we named him. Brady pick.
2 interceptions last night, starting with the one where he just forces it up to Van Jefferson.
That was a bad one.
In the end zone.
That was a bad one.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking? This is a Stafford special right here, running the wrong way, throwing it across his body, pointing, and nice throw to Jesse Bates, who became primary on that target. And this one is a little wide and leading Skoranek too far. Again, you say he didn't run through it. I just thought it was an off-target throw, and Skoranek just tipped it up in the air. And when you do that to this Bengals secondary, they're going to sniff it, smell it, catch it.
Yes.
And Awuzie just tucked it right in his back pocket, and I thought the game was teetering in the favor of the Bengals at that point, and Joe Burrow couldn't go down and capitalize. You can't go get 3, you got to get 7.
And why couldn't he do that?
Because he got sacked on 3rd and 3 at the 11-yard line. Anthony Davis. No, I'm sorry, Aaron Donald. The real AD, Aaron Donald.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You tried to start something already this morning.
The real AD. Okay, so then we've got those 2 interceptions, and then could we please see, as painful as it is to watch, could we see the Odell play again, the unfortunate last play that Odell ran in this football game, the injury play? Because it's a bad throw by Matt Stafford. It's behind him, and he has to reach back for it, and he can't quite hang on. Maybe he should have caught it, but here we go. This is the last throw to Odell, and it's just he just threw it behind him. Like he's got to reach back, and he sticks his left foot in the carpet, and it snags, and there goes probably the ACL.
Odell took his eye off it. I think Odell wanted the ball quicker, but Stafford was looking to see. He was going front side. Okay, let me see if I got Kupp. I don't have Kupp. Okay, now I'll come back to Odell.
Okay. But Odell had to look back for it. He should have caught it, obviously, but his leg is going out from under him, and we're presuming, at least the reports are, that his ACL was re-tearing on that play. So I'm not going to dock him for that. But the point is that, okay, there are 3 throws that he missed, and then he did in that last-ditch drive. He had Van Jefferson on the back line, and Von Bell was kind of in the sight line, but he just overthrew him. But he was open along the back line.
Overthrow him. Don't chance it. Don't chance it.
Okay.
Because remember what happened last time we saw somebody throw the ball into the end zone? It cost Seattle. It broke their team up. So we live to see another day.
Wasn't that kind of play.
Yes, he threw it into the end zone and somebody picked it.
Okay, well, way to go, Malcolm Butler. He then got benched in the next Super Bowl that he played.
Man, that was so long ago.
I don't know what happened. Cost Tom Brady another Super Bowl. Should have 2 more. So my point is, Matt was his usual off-target self here and there, but he did play well when it was time. But I can't give him an A. And then
hold on.
What's that?
Hold on. A 15-play game-winning drive. You'd have gave Tom Brady A++ times 10 pluses.
Could we see 3rd and goal at the 8 again with 1:47 left, if you would, please? This is 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. And he throws it, and it gets batted down by Logan Wilson, who played a hellacious game for the Bengals. And they call holding on this, defensive holding, when he did not grab and hold. He did not impede Cooper Kupp. He just fought him. He's got hands on him, but everybody's got hands on everybody. No. He did not impede Cooper Kupp's progress. He did not grab a fistful of jersey. There's no grab on that play. And Matt Stafford got a huge break because it's going to be 4th and goal from the 8, and I don't think he can convert that. And if he doesn't, we're having a very different conversation right now.
But here's the thing, Skip. On a couple of plays before that, Henderson runs the Texas route, and the linebacker almost tackles him. and Matthew Stafford throws it to him and they don't call a flag. There were a lot of plays they could have called. That happens.
I didn't see
Oh,
that.
yeah, well, it happened.
Tackled?
Right there. Go back. Run that back one more time. Run this back, 57. You see this Texas route? Skip, that's holding.
Almost tackled him?
Yes, that's holding on 57. You can't do that. There it is again. Here it is, a Texas route. Got him. Yeah, you can't do that.
He banged him once.
You can't bang him.
You get to bang him once at 5 yards. He was 5 yards.
The ball's in the air.
Okay, that'd be like his tiki-taka call that you could make, and they actually superseded it with an even more tiki-taka call.
But
it saved Matthew Stafford. The ball gets batted down.
T. Higgins just Beetlejuice Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Almost pull his head all the way around like Beetlejuice. And you don't want to call him like
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I know Beetlejuice.
You do?
Yeah, no, but
Don't say it like too many times, or we'll both have problems, right?
Skip, look, I agree. Up until the last minute of the game, it was as clean a Super Bowl as I had ever seen. 3 penalties. One was unsportsmanlike conduct because the guy that wasn't dressed got into the line with the Bengals. And then you got 2 procedures.
Vernon Hargraves. I don't know what would possess you.
Skip, I got it.
You're not dressed. He is
flip-flops.
And he went onto the field to celebrate?
He in shower shoes.
And you cost your team 15 yards? What are you doing? Surely he knows better.
Skip, I might not ever get a chance in this situation. Y'all need to see me in my Bengals gear.
I read some Bengals wire story this morning that said he's about to be an ex-Bengals cornerback. So I don't know.
I mean, Skip, he was the first round pick.
I know. Well, a lot of people thought he was the most talented corner in that draft.
But it's things like that that lead you to question, okay, the seriousness, how serious are you taking this?
I thought it was going
to
cost the Bengals points, but it didn't at the end of the half.
But I was thinking, I was like, I didn't know what happened. I was like, hold on. They let them celebrate all the time. They always let them run into the end zone and take the helmet off and look into the camera and do all kinds of... I didn't know what it was, Skip, until
I think I didn't have a uniform on.
I didn't realize that until I got home and saw the... I said, that's what the unsportsmanlike conduct was.
That makes sense.
And by the way, the Bengals were the least penalized in total yards in the whole league during the year. And then you get that?
For that to be, I know, it was not good. It was not a good look. Someone's going to regret that one today. No mercy. Sunday, it's the most iconic day in all of motorsports, the Daytona 500. The Great American Race kicks off the 2022 NASCAR season at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, reason we're here today, the Rams beat the Bengals 23-20 yesterday for their second Super Bowl in franchise history and first for the team while in LA. Cooper Kupp was named MVP after catching 2 touchdowns, including the game winner with less than 2 minutes left, while Aaron Donald had 2 of LA's Super Bowl record-tying 7 sacks. So we're now joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst and the happy Rambassador himself, Eric Dickerson. I know you were very confident heading into the matchup. So are you surprised the game was as close as it was? But either way, congrats.
Yes, I was surprised the game was as close as it was. But I think what changed the dynamics of that game was OBJ getting hurt. I mean, it almost made us almost one-dimensional. I got to give the Bengals credit. We could not run the football against that defensive front. So we were stuck to trying to hit the tight end and also hitting Cooper Kupp. So, that team was a lot better than I thought they were. But I still believe if we'd had OBJ in that game, it would have been a different football game. And I know, Skip, you won your bet, Skip. I got to give you credit on that. But the most important thing is forget the bet. We won the football game. That's all I got to say. We won the game.
So you're saying you won the battle and I won the war?
No. You won. I won the war. You won the battle.
Well, thank you very much for my $500. I'll probably never see those $500, but that's okay because it's all about $500 worth of pride.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Go ahead, Skip. Go ahead. I'll let you follow up.
So, Eric Dickerson, I got to ask you, did it not hurt your heart that your Rams won a Super Bowl while rushing for 1.9 yards per carry? You had 23 carries for 43 total yards. I've never seen it quite like it. I consider you the greatest running back ever, the Rambassador. So did it disturb you? Did it bother you? Did it cut against your core that your Rams won the Super Bowl with that little rushing?
Well, I was wishing that we could hoping we run the ball a lot better. But like I said, you have to give the Bengals credit. I mean, their linebackers played great. They were scraping the holes. The defensive front was putting pressure, on the running game, get into the backfield. Anytime you can get into the backfield or push the offensive lineman back into the running back space, you won that battle. And that's what the Bengals did a great job of that. Like I said, I did not realize that defensive front was that good. But they played, to me, I think, I'm going to say they played over their head. They played like they should have played the Super Bowl game. So I give them credit for that. But like I said before, the most important thing is that we won this football game. To me, Matt Stafford played I think he played a great game. I mean, except for that one interception. Mm-hmm. I know you said that it was this. He threw behind OBJ when he hurt his knee. That one pick he had, against Van Jefferson. I think that was a bad throw. But other than that 15-play drive, I agree with Shannon on this. If that would have been Tom Brady that had that 15-play drive and they went down and won the football game, you would be jumping up and down over there. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Skip, do you dislike Matt Stafford that much? I mean, give the guy a little bit of credit.
Hold on just a second. Brady won 6 of his 7 Super Bowls with game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime. So are you discounting that? It's nothing against
not
Matt
at all.
Matt Stafford led the league in interceptions. Matt Stafford was 74-90 as the Detroit Lions starting quarterback with Megatron. That's all I know. And did he play well? He played great in the playoffs for Matt Stafford. Is he now a cinch Hall of Famer? I'm not quite there yet. I'm sorry. I need to see a little more body of work.
I think the thing with Matthew Stafford, what's going to happen, Skip, is that he's 34 years of age. When he's done, his numbers are going to probably have him top 2, top 3 all time in a lot of the statistical categories.
Even be close to done.
And when you factor in the Super Bowl, but here's the thing. Matthew Stafford has 1 Super Bowl win with a game-winning drive. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, his first one, how did he get? Game-winning drive. Mm-hmm. And Tom Brady set Vinatieri up for a field goal. Matthew Stafford had to get the ball into the end zone, which is a lot more difficult to do than setting up a game because now it's on someone else. Because you can always say, well, I did my part. I got him in field goal range. The kicker didn't do it. Matthew Stafford had to get him in the end zone.
But Matt Stafford got huge help from the referee who called the flag.
Come on, Skip.
It was the most home cooking call I think I've ever seen in that circumstance. It's 3rd and goal at the 8, and Logan Wilson is dominating the football game, and he doesn't grab a handful of jerseys. He's got his hands around Cooper Kupp, but he didn't impede his progress. You got it was the Hollywood Rams getting a Hollywood home cooking call because, we got to make sure that Hollywood does Hollywood. Right?
ED, what did you and I say? Bengals had more fans in that stadium than the Rams. Did you and I not say that sitting in that?
Yeah, we did say that. We said that. It seemed like it was more Bengals fans.
You know why? Because the Bengals fans make more noise than the Ram fans because the Ram fans don't make any noise. Eric can attest to that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect to see Tobey Maguire and Charlize Theron clapping with their face painted like the Bengals fans.
No, exactly.
Go ahead, ED.
Well, like I said, Skip, and the most important thing is winning the football game. You have to give a guy credit. I mean, he came from Detroit. Skip, Detroit. Think about that. I still say the same thing I always said to fans. If you would put the great Tom Brady in Detroit for 13 years, he had one great receiver, Megatron. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, we as players, and Shannon, you know this here, when you play on bad football teams, it's horrible.
It's miserable.
I mean, I said this to you yesterday. I said, ain't it fun when you win a football game? Yeah. Football becomes fun. When you're losing games, it's no fun. Yeah, you put up the stats and all that kind of stuff, but you're still losing football games. He's never had a great football team around him. He's never had a great running back around him. He had one great receiver, but he didn't have a great team. He didn't have a great organization. I guarantee you the people in Detroit are just as happy as the people in L.A. are for Matt Stafford winning that Super Bowl.
Okay, but Eric, he didn't have just one great receiver. He had the most productive receiver in the history of the National Football League.
He turned him into that. Matthew Stafford turned him into that.
I will give you some of that, but not all of that, because that little man, not that little, he looks little, but he doesn't weigh little because he weighs 210. Right?
All they need to know about Detroit had 2 top 5 players retire at 30. Barry Sanders and Megatron. That tells you everything you need to know about the Detroit Lions. But you look at Matthew Stafford, Skip. He beat Kyler Murray, who was in the Pro Bowl. He beat Tom Brady, who was in the Pro Bowl. 10-point come-from-behind win against the 49ers and a come-from-behind win against the Cincinnati. Everybody, the adorable Bengals, with a 15-play game-winning touchdown drive.
Mm-hmm. No, it was a magic carpet ride.
Game-winning drive. Say it again, game-winning drive.
It's about to stop. It's over now. So Matthew Stafford done.
Well, we'll see. I need to see a little bit more. And by the way, ED, were you okay with Cooper Kupp winning MVP over the real AD in L.A., who is Aaron Donald?
You know, I thought Aaron Donald should have won that MVP. I mean, Matthew Stafford. I mean, really. But Aaron Donald changed the dynamics of that football game. He really did. He took that game over. He's a player that I've always said he is, a great football player. I love watching him play. I sent him a text after the game. I just love watching him play. Congratulations. But most definitely, it could have went either way. I mean, Cooper Kupp has been great all season. And one thing about that last drive is like, it was just Matthew and Cooper Kupp. I think hit the tight end once. And when it's hard to be in a football game like this and become one-dimensional. And we became one-dimensional. We had one guy we could go to. It was pretty much Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford hooking up almost on every other play.
And by the way, Eric, the one guy also ran with the football because the play of the game becomes 4th and 1 at the 30. Because if you miss, you're done, right?
Yeah, it's over.
5 minutes left, and he takes a little sort of a jet sweep. I don't know if you go that far to call it. He's like out of the slot. He does a little stutter step motion. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, he turns it up, and he doesn't get 1 yard. He gets 7 yards because that man can run after catch, and he can run with the football.
That's the big game changer with Cooper Kupp is once he has the ball in his hands, the things he can do. That little stutter step that he did when he came back reverse on that run he did. I don't think they thought it was going to be a run. I thought it was going to be a pass. I'm like, please don't throw the football. I mean, that changed the game. And I mean, like I said, you could say Matthew Stafford could have been MVP. You could say Aaron Donald should have been MVP. You could say Cooper Kupp could have been MVP. I mean, it was a plethora of guys there. But the most important thing is it's a team effort. I mean, I think everyone is happy for everyone on that football team except you. You're not happy for Matt Stafford winning that Super Bowl. But hey, like I say, I won the war. You won the battle.
I'm just not happy for you winning. That's all I care about is you.
Thank you, Skip. I appreciate it.
And next year, it's my Cowboys' turn.
Man, stop saying you don't good work. Your Cowboys
Stop it, Skip.
We're going to enjoy the Rams for today.
How y'all get the 4th best odds to win the Super Bowl next year anyway?
We'll get to the Cowboys
Rams
tomorrow. Today, it's all about the Rams. Edie, congratulations. You enjoy this. And thank you for making time for us today. We're going to switch gears for just a minute. LeBron, he was celebrating.
Yeah, he was at the game.
He was there celebrating. But then Saturday was kind of a night of
nobody Cowboy fan.
And unfortunately, Skip and Shannon, they noticed what happened on Saturday, and we have a lot to talk about it right now. Say about it next. No mercy. All right, so LeBron had a chance to send the struggling Lakers to overtime against the Red Hot Warriors Saturday night, but missed the first of 3 free throws that would have tied the game up at the end of regulation. LeBron made the second and then intentionally missed the third one to try to get a last attempt, but he couldn't convert in the end. And the Lakers, they lost 117-115. So Shannon, how disappointed were you that LeBron missed the first free throw of the 3 he needed to force overtime? He missed it, didn't get it done.
I was disappointed in LeBron the entire game because it's very uncharacteristic of him, Skip. He had more shot attempts than points. He had 27 shot attempts. He had 26 points. That's very inefficient. He was 1 for 10 in the fourth quarter. The game shouldn't even come down to those free throw attempts. They were terrible shooting the free throws. They started the game, missed their first 4 free throw attempts. This is only the 7th time in 1,350 games that he's taken at least 25 shots and shot less than 33% from the floor. So he was very inefficient. I was very upset at Anthony Davis because this is back-to-back games, Skip. We've seen this bull jive. Now, when he first came off injury, Skip, we saw what he did. He was dominating, giving us 27, 29, 30 points. 12, 15, 17 rebounds. AD played 35 minutes, and you got 7 rebounds? The same number as Russell Westbrook? The same number as Horton Tucker? I don't know what's going on. We saw what he did in Portland. Yeah, LeBron knows he has to shoot the free throws better. I don't care what anybody says. There's no possible way you practice free throws and you shoot this bad. Again, 22 of 31 from the 22 of 33 from the free throw line. there was some horrible number against Portland. That's unacceptable. But, Skip, when you're a bad team, we can dress it up. Yeah, LeBron didn't play well. I tweeted LeBron that they lost the game. I tweeted this. The reason why they lost the game, their two best players' play was unacceptable tonight. Simple as that. But there are bad teams. Bad teams lose games like this. Good teams win games like this. I don't really know how else to explain it. Yes, I'm disappointed in LeBron's play the last two ball games. This isn't good enough. Anthony Davis' play hasn't been nowhere close to good enough. And he teased us again because we saw 4 or 5 games, Skip, and we're like, that's the Anthony Davis. Skip Bayless telling me that's the top 5 guy. That's the guy. That's the guy. And then he gives me 16-7 after giving us, 13-5, 14? No. But LeBron's got to make those free throws, but it shouldn't even come down to that. You can't go 1 for 10 in the fourth quarter and expect to beat a team. Even Golden State, you had them right there. Prime for the picking. They got unlucky. The ball carry him, goes right to Clay. He hits it. They airball a shot, comes right to Otto Porter Jr. He kicks it out to Clay. He bangs another 3. But this is unacceptable.
My turn. Here we went again. I have said for years and years on national television that LeBron James has one glaring flaw, a flaw that disqualifies him from any GOAT debate that you would like to thrust him into. He is the worst late-game superstar free throw shooter we have ever seen, to the point that he jacks up late-game threes because he runs from the free throw line because he does not trust himself at the free throw line late in games. And by far, since he's entered the league, he leads the entire NBA in late-game free throws missed in clutch or crunch time, however you want to call late and close situations. He's missed 16 of those. This one actually didn't count because that has to be a score of 2 points or less, but he's missed 16, which is 8 more than one J.R. Smith, who, of course, retired in 2020. So what happened at the end of this game? Unfortunately, a bad call on Steph, and LeBron is screaming about the call, and then he wakes up and thinks, oh, bleep. That means, wait, they actually gave me the call. I have to go stand there by myself. And it was his worst nightmare. He has to make 3 free throws to send the game to overtime. Right. It's a lot to ask of most anyone, but especially of LeBron, because by superstar standards, he's already a poor free throw shooter because he's low 70% free throw shooter. And now you have to make the first one. And if we could see the first one, Shannon, it was just a pathetic choke job. He wanted no part of this. He actually leans to the left and steps across the line as the ball's in the air, and it LeBricks.
But that's his shot, though, Skip. He always leans.
But he doesn't lean to the left. He didn't shoot it with any conviction. It was like painful to watch, and he just kind of flicked it with his wrist. There was no real follow-through to it. And he missed it. Then, of course, now you're sunk because you can make the next one, no pressure, and then you got to just throw the third one up into the rafters and hope you get a break. And he actually got up some kind of last-ditch fall-down shot over.
But he stepped out of bounds. So.
Yeah, well, it was close. So my point is also your point. What was shocking to me was I thought the Lakers overall played a pretty good basketball game. They were in position. They were down 1 going to the fourth quarter. And look at the bench production in this game. They got 42 points out of their bench, and Golden State got only 20 out of its bench. And you got 5 of 9 from Malik, and Horton Tucker was 5 of 9, and Austin Reeves made all 5 of his shots.
Yes.
So that gave you a chance because Russ, for once, was on his best behavior in this game.
Yes.
Right? He had only 1 turnover, and he still gave you 19 points. And
he was the only starter in plus with a plus plus.
And he had a plus. So you're right there, and we get to the fourth quarter, and then LeBron happened, or should I say didn't happen, because it's hard to go 1 for 10 in the fourth quarter because it's got to be his worst quarter of his career. Because on top of it, he turns it over 3 times just in the fourth quarter. He had 4 for the game, but 3 in the fourth quarter.
They only had 8.
That's what I'm saying, that's winning basketball.
Yes.
Yeah, for them, I would agree. So could we please see 12 bad plays from LeBron in the fourth quarter. We're going to go 12 straight through because these are missed shots, 9 missed shots plus the 3 turnovers. And it starts with they're just down 1 at this point. Missed that one. And then here we go again. This is a little running jump shot that's short. And then we've got a 3-point attempt, bricked. And then here's the first turnover. Whoops. That was almost Westbrookian. And then this actually just got blocked. He had no chance on that one. And then we got another turnover. Whoops. That was Westbrookian. Then we've got a blocked shot at the rim, which became a missed layup. And we got another, whoops. Here
turnover.
we go again. Yep. And then this is the 3. This is, a little long. He did make a basket at 5:34 left. He made a layup. There's a short miss.
It's just, we just couldn't. But Skip, remember he missed the bunny. He missed the bunny late in the ball game too. This right here, this one right here.
Yep, missed that.
That'd have made it a 1-point game.
That would have made it a 1-point game. That is correct. And that was it. The point is, he had a terrible quarter.
Yes.
You still had a chance. And I truly felt for him because Steph means to foul him
earlier
before the shot. Mm-hmm. And I thought I thought he fouled him before the shot, and LeBron kind of carried on through the shot and got the favorable call that's an oblique call because, wait a second, now you got to go stand there and make 3 free throws?
Yeah.
By his standards, not going to happen.
He's a 75% free throw shooter
this year, but for his career, he's what, 72?
72%.
Yeah.
So he's gonna miss the likelihood he's gonna miss one. But here's the thing, Skip. With about 3.5, 4 minutes in the ball game, they took Kevon Looney out. Mm-hmm. So now their biggest guy, Otto Porter, is your biggest guy on the court. In AD, I tweeted, they got no bigs in the game. AD time to eat.
I'll give you that.
Skip, what the hell? You can't. He tried to post up Klay Thompson and couldn't post up Klay. Mm-hmm. You got Andrew Wiggins. You got Otto Porter. You should.
So AD didn't play poorly. He just didn't do enough. When you got the advantage, he's 16 and only 7 rebounds.
See, what is that?
And he missed 4 more free throws, which he didn't used to miss. He was more of an 80% free throw shooter, and now he's 6 of 10.
Skip, you talking about he didn't play bad. Skip, he's 5 of 13.
Yeah, but I'm saying
he had 7 rebounds.
He played none. You know, like it's too quiet where your RPM is low.
Skip, remember the game that he had against Joel Embiid?
Yep.
So now Kevon Looney is better than Joel Embiid. He gave Joel Embiid the business. It's almost like, okay, this guy can embarrass me. I got to make sure I don't get embarrassed. Now he takes his foot off the gas against Nurkic. Yep. Nurkic deals him. Yep. He takes his foot off the gas against Looney. Looney deals him.
He did.
But if he goes against somebody that he thinks, now all of a sudden he gears up.
Yep.
Come on, bruh.
So on a night that Steph Curry once again goes 1 of 8 from 3, he is plummeting. He is by far a
he might be shooting worse than Bron from the 3.
Well, he's getting close. What is Bron now?
Bron might be like 34%.
Well, I think Steph's fallen to 37, which is by far his career low. And yet Clay turned back into Clay right on time because in the fourth quarter he makes 6 of 10, but he made 3 of 4 3-point shots, and that did you in.
That did us in.
Yep.
And Skip, they got a deflection. The Lakers, Steph tries to bounce pass. It deflects right to Clay. And Clay all in one motion.
It was
Bang.
his night, but he looked legit. He looked like I am back.
Yes. They airball one.
Yep.
It bangs off the backboard to Otto Porter. He kicks it out, and boom.
Boom.
But Skip,
I thought you had a chance. That would have been a turnaround statement game. If you could have beaten Golden State on their floor, that's the one you could build on. And instead, you fall 5 games under 500.
Yeah, but your 2 best players can't play like this.
Nope. Especially your best player.
But that was supposed to be Anthony Davis. Remember, Anthony Davis was supposed to take the torch from LeBron. You're still waiting for that too, right?
Okay, so you're ready to completely disqualify him from the GOAT conversation?
No.
I think that's what you just said.
No, I didn't disqualify him.
Oh.
So Jordan's never had an off shooting night.
Well,
he's never missed a free throw that could have won or tied the game.
Well, he didn't miss those kind of.
I did not. I just asked you a simple question.
Yeah. Hoping we wouldn't notice, or maybe we wouldn't want to talk about.
But he was at the
Saturday.
game. You saw him at the game yesterday, Skip?
Oh, I saw him.
He front runs.
Having a
There ain't nobody
great
front
time.
running, man.
I thought he was a Cowboy fan.
It felt like
maybe a Browns
everyone.
fan.
He is.
Or maybe
He's
a
an
Yankees
Odell
fan.
fan. We're getting back to the Super Bowl. It did feel like everyone was there. Should we expect Joe Burrow and the Bengals to bounce back after what we
about all
saw
that.
last night, last season?
No mercy.
Well, Joe Burrow was used as a battering ram versus Los Angeles in Cincy's 23-20 Super Bowl loss. And Burrow was sacked a Super Bowl record-tying 7 times as he was under duress early and often. And afterward, the Bengals QB said, quote, "I was disappointed in my performance overall. I thought I could play better. We'll take this and let it fuel us for the next few years." And we know his future is bright at this point. But Shannon, please give Joe Burrow a letter grade for his Super Bowl performance.
Skip, I gave him a C because I thought he was very average. For me, going into this entire playoffs, they've been winning, but Joe Burrow has not played like he did down the stretch in the regular season. Yeah, I understand he overcame the 9 sacks, threw for 348 yards against Tennessee, but he didn't get the ball into the end zone. So he's been very pedestrian. Skip, his quarterback is 40. His QBR was 40 throughout the playoffs. That's 50 is average. So he's been below that. This is what Joe Burrow did his last 5 drives after they took a 20-13 lead. Punt, 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 turnover on downs. 50 yards, 50 total yards on his last 5 drives. Even the 75-yard, okay, you say that, hey, it didn't turn his head, it didn't yank it, he didn't bleed, no blood, no foul. I get all that. But Skip, he's very average yesterday. Basically, he had 2 big plays, a 75-yard touchdown to Higgins and a tremendous one-handed catch by Jamar Chase. Other than that, he was 20 of 31 for 122 and 0 touchdowns. But, Skip, I think we better pull up the brakes on this next Brady stuff, okay? Let's just hold on before we start because 1 300-yard games, he had 5 touchdowns in 4 games. So I gave him a C. I understand he was under duress, but what people was crowing about and giving him so much credit for is that he's been able to perform really well while dealing with this kind of duress. Don't make it seem like, his offensive line was bad. They've been bad. That's why he led the league in sacks. Hell, that's what knocked him out of the game 2 years ago. His offensive line got him sacked, got his knee shredded when he was playing the Washington football team. So all of a sudden, wait, his line, I didn't know. Yes, you did know. Did you not see? 19 sacks. He had got sacked 9 times in the game. How many times a guy gets sacked 9 times to win the game? So, Skip, even though with the duress, I expected more. I gave him a C because I thought he was average, and I think for the better part of the playoffs, he's been average. Yes, they won, and you know when you win, the quarterback's going to get the credit. But, Skip, he's been average, especially compared to what we saw over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All I ever said about Joe Burrow, still very young Joe Burrow, is that he's the closest thing left to Brady, but that he'll never, ever even imagine being Tom Brady.
Well, you said he's young. If he don't get an offensive line, he ain't going to make it to get old.
That is correct. Because there is no way in heaven or hell that Tom Brady's going to get sacked 9 times in a game or 7 times in a Super Bowl. So if I have to grade him, I'm going to give him a B for this effort only because of his degree of difficulty, because he's under fire from, I think we'd say, the best overall pass rush in pro football, because there is a Von Miller and there is a Leonard Floyd, and even though he got hurt last night. And
AD.
By the way, they're coming from everywhere because there's the real AD in L.A.
There you go. Why you trying to start some mess, Skip? Why you just can't call him Aaron Donald?
You just kept saying it. You just did it in our previous topic. Am I right? And then there is that kid, Ernest Jones, who came out of nowhere flying number 50, who gave them a 4th, or you can say Greg Games is in there. It's like a 5th rusher because he's blitzing like a madman, and he's all over Joe Burrow.
Right.
So, again, I'm going to use the stat again. Their pass block win rate last night was 14%. That means across the board, they only won 14% of their matchups trying to block the on-rushing Rams. And that is by far the lowest in any single game this whole season in the National Football League. Well, obviously, if you put a young quarterback under that kind of fire, he's going to have a hard time. Meanwhile, on the other side, Matt Stafford has a QBR of only 61, which is not that great. It's not like he set so far on fire last night. And yet, down the stretch, especially in the second half, Matt Stafford had enough time to go shopping on Rodeo Drive.
That's a long way. That's a long way from Inglewood.
It's a long way, but he had time to get in his car and just motor right on over, or maybe he could call Uber and go to Rodeo and shop and come back and throw the football to Cooper Kupp, because by that time he would be open somewhere beating 3 defenders. But the point is that he did some good things and he did some bad things. The throw to Jamar Chase that he one-handed, which is one of the great Super Bowl catches I have ever seen.
It was.
Like all time. It's way up there with some Lynn Swann catches I saw, with a Butch Johnson catch in the end zone against your Denver Broncos.
Yeah. I think that was in New Orleans, wasn't it?
It was in New Orleans. It was. Yeah, here we go. Here's the one-handed catch. That's one-handed snag, and it was a very good throw. In fact, it was the only sort of credible throw of the night where you actually had time to deliver a deep ball to a guy who can get deep. And he's about to come under siege there.
Yeah, because I think that was Vaughn right in his face. That was Vaughn right in his face.
Yep. So the point is, there are a couple other plays that I think we should give him the credit of showing, because there's the Tyler Boyd drop, and it was a huge drop. It's 6:22 left in the game, and it's 3rd and 9 at the Bengals 40, and he throws it to Tyler Boyd, who hadn't dropped a ball all year.
He's looking to run. You see his head turn. He already turning, Skip.
Is he going to get the first?
No, but I believe they're going to go for it.
It's going to be close. Yeah, maybe he's not going to quite get there.
But I believe they're going for it. Do you think they're going to go for it?
Well, they did all the game. They went for it in the first series of the game.
And Skip, and here's the thing. He made his mind up that I'm going to Chase on this 4th and 1. He had Joe Mixon.
He did. No, I got
You
it.
take Joe Mixon got 3 yards easy.
Okay, so in the end, I must admit I was disappointed in a Joe Burrow that I had high hopes for in this game, because there are 3 or 4 plays that did not get made that should have gotten made.
Right.
Where if you are Tom Brady, what did I talk about? What Brady does, he speed reads before the snap. He knows pretty much where he's going before the snap, because he has a pretty good idea of where you're going.
Right.
And he's going to figure out pre-snap, I got to go here because they're going to be on me in 2.5. So I got to get rid of the ball. And the first one that disappointed me was that 3rd and 3 when they have a chance to just take
go blow
you
the
out.
game open.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 3 down at the 11-yard line, and you just have to find somebody. This is after the second interception.
Right.
And you got the Rams on the ropes and they're building. You just have to get rid of that ball. It has to be gone before then. And you take a sack and you take a much longer field goal. That's the guard who just can't block Aaron Donald. So you get the mismatch that you wanted, drive him right back into Joe Burrow. But the point is, the ball, it's only 3 yards that you need. You have to have an idea before the snap. I'm going to go here and I'm going to get rid of the ball quickly.
Yes.
So here's my point. Last night, if I took 44-year-old Tom Brady and inserted him in this game in place of Joe Burrow, the Bengals win that game.
I don't know, Skip. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Is that guard still in there blocking for Tom Brady?
Yeah, but he's just going to say, I'm saying that it would be the same circumstance. And why they didn't use that Jackson Carman, their second-round pick this year, the rookie?
Yeah,
they didn't use him
sure.
one snap. And it's just Adeniji is in there all night. He took every snap at right guard. And you were talking about a weak link.
Right.
It's a disaster.
But they did a great job. If you notice, you saw Vaughn and AD on the same side more than you had ever seen them. You saw them doing a lot more games than you had ever seen them.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because it's like, whose turn is it this time?
Exactly.
You want to eat, or is it my turn?
My turn.
Okay. So in the end, I still thought Joe Burrow had a chance because he made 2 nice throws.
Right.
He threw it to Chase on Jalen.
But Jalen didn't, Skip, he didn't need to take that chance. Why are you trying to undercut that, bro?
And to Burrow's credit, he sniffed the gamble and threw it over his head. And for a second, I thought Jamar was gone, and he just sort of ran out of bounds.
Yeah, he might have should have cut that one back.
I think you're right.
Because here's the thing, Skip, I got 2 timeouts. I can afford to blow one. If I get an opportunity to cut, I'm gonna cut that back.
You got plenty of time because you're at a minute and a half.
Yep.
And then he hit Tyler Boyd again for 9. This one he caught.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, you're 2nd and 1 at the Rams' 49-yard line. And I'm thinking, all you need is one more throw, and you're in that.
10 yards, you're in range.
Yeah, 10, 12 yards, you got a shot. Because that little rookie kicker, he's got a thunderfoot.
Yes.
And instead, you throw a deep ball to nobody, and I still don't know what he was thinking.
He thought he was going to catch what you call him gambling again.
I guess so, but he just throws it, and Jamar just breaks his route off.
He thought he was going to catch Ram being nosy, cluing again.
I guess so. And then Pirine goes nowhere, and against the play of the game by Aaron Donald, because he just reaches, grabs him around the waist, and restrains him. And Pirine's he's at least 240. Yeah. And then we get to the last 4th and 1, and this is the play Brady's just going to make. He's going to figure out a way to get rid of the football. He's not going to let Aaron Donald get an arm around him and sling him down. He almost slung it right to Pirine. But the point is, it just left me flat and disappointed because you had your chances and you failed.
I'm gonna put this game on Zach Taylor, because I thought Joe Mixon should have played more of a role in running the football, Skip. I thought he did a good job
of running.
Yeah, and
one thing you can do on Aaron Donald, you can run some on him. He'll get run past.
But I think the thing that they did a really good job and what deterred them is that if you look at the first 3 games, Skip, they stopped the run. So now it was quarterback season. We could go hunting. But Mixon ran the ball fairly well.
He did.
I mean, he had 15 rushes for 72. Now let's just say, Skip, we give him another 7 or 8 of those rushes. And we take 7 of
I'll buy
those.
that.
Yeah, that's
okay. But Burrow had been their magic man all year long.
And you see what Sean McVay fell into that trap the first Super Bowl against New England.
He did. I agree.
Jared Goff has been our Superman.
Had been.
You better run the football. Even if you're not getting anything, it just plants the seed. At that point, Skip, they're like, we just hunting. We ain't even worried about the run. We know y'all not going to run it. So we just going to go get tee off on your quarterback. He's not. You said he's a young man. He ain't going to live to get old.
No,
not football age. If he keeps taking punishment like that, I don't care what he says. I played running back. I was a wide receiver.
I was a DB.
You're not going to take that kind of punishment, Skip, and play quarterback in this league.
I love the physicality.
Okay, it sounds good.
But the longevity is the concern in that way. Okay, so we do have to address this. Did the refs cost the Bengals the game?
No,
come on. Yesterday. It needs to be discussed, and I want both of your takes after the break.
No mercy.
So near the goal line on the Rams' final drive, the Bengals got called for a defensive holding that gave LA an extra shot to eventually take the lead. The game was relatively penalty-free, but some Cincy fans will be pointing to that call all offseason long. So, Shannon, did the refs cost the Bengals the game?
No. What cost the Bengals the game was the Bengals' offensive line and their inability to block in the second half. Aaron Donald and his crew that wrecked Sharpe. Skip, look, I get it. I still believe the worst call of the game. Jalen Ramsey had his face mask twisted on a 75-yard touchdown. His head, now unless my TV was acting up, but I'm in here and I saw it again, and I think Fox got better TVs than what I got, and it looked like his head twisted. That's what it looked like to me. And they didn't call it.
But you were at the game.
Exactly. And
you're at a field level box. And they tell me the sight llines aren't that great from the field level.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. I don't like why. I like being up a little. I like being up a little higher, Skip.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it almost feels like Skip. You're like watching from the sideline. I don't want to watch from the sideline. Everybody's talking about, man, I would love to watch the game from the sideline. No, you wouldn't. I want to be up high. And I want to be looking at the job. Spend all my time looking at the TVs anyway.
Okay.
Looking for the replays.
Yep.
But hold on. Even though you say that was not a pass interference, the Rams go on and score. Joe Burrow got the ball back with 1:25 left, and all he needed is 3 to tie the ball game and get in overtime. You got the ball. You need 1 yard. You got 3 tries to get 1 yard.
Correct.
That wasn't official. Did you want the official to say they jumped outside and give you an automatic first down? Or could you not get a first down with 3 tries? You throw one away to Chase because you thought Ramsey was going to be nosy. You got stopped when Aaron Donald grabbed the guy with one arm and pulled him back, and then he blew the 4th down play up. No, you didn't lose the game because of the official. You lost the game because your offensive line was ineffective. You lost the ball game on your last 5 possessions. You went 4 punts, and you turned the ball over on downs. And And Joe Burrow was very average yesterday. That's why you lost the game. Your defense played well enough for you to win the game. Your offense is what you pride yourself on wasn't good enough.
So the hometown Hollywood Rams got called for a grand total of 2 penalties for a grand total of 10 yards. Really?
Yep.
And yet, if we could start this flow by going back to late in the first quarter, there was a throw to T. Higgins at the goal line, and Jalen Ramsey flat out grabs a fistful of jersey and restrains and pulls and catapults himself across T. Higgins to knock the ball down, and there's no call at the goal line. Same goal line that is about to come into question.
T. Higgins didn't complain, so he knew it wasn't no foul.
Well, he didn't know what would happen. We don't have the reverse angle of this, but you can see he just reaches out and grabs a hold of the jersey and actually projects himself across the ball by grabbing. He actually, you'd say, drafts off him. It's like a NASCAR draft, right?
We call it slingshot.
Okay.
So you put a jersey.
Slingshotted. Okay. Way to go. Congratulations. So at that same goal line, we go late in the game and we see a play that happened with 1:47 left. It's 3rd and goal at the 8. And Logan Wilson is all over Cooper Kupp.
Yep. So you said it, all over him.
He touches him with his hands, but he does not grab fistful of jersey. He's a little handsy, but everybody's a little handsy the whole game long because they weren't calling any of this. And he does not restrain him. He only plays the pass as beautifully as you could play that play. I don't know how you could play that any better on the single most productive receiver in the history of the National Football League. You're a linebacker. He's a wideout. Yeah. And you actually snuff it out. Yeah. You are all over it, and you cross his body cleanly with your right hand and knock the pass down. And all this, what, a flag flies?
It's
as ticky-tack call as we saw all playoffs long.
You just answered your own question. You just said that's the most productive receiver in NFL history,
okay, so
and a linebacker knocked the ball down. How could he do it without holding it?
It's a reputation call. Is that what you're saying? Because somebody along a back judge along the back line, I don't know which one it was. I wish I did.
He was very decisive when he threw it.
He threw it.
Yes.
It flew. And I was like, what? They've got 2 penalties the whole game, and you just called that one?
Yep.
Are you kidding
That's the
me?
one.
And here we go again, because if it's 4th and goal from the 8, see Aaron Rodgers' NFC Championship game back in Green Bay 2 years ago. If it's 4th and goal, they just said, we waved the white flag here. We're done. Matt LaFleur says, I'm out. I'm going to take the field goal. Well, they're not going to take the field goal.
No, the field goal does you no good.
Well, it really did Green Bay no good at that point.
True, thank you.
But the point was that it's going to be 4th and goal at the 8. You want to talk about a hard conversion? Maybe Cooper Kupp makes magic. Maybe Matt Stafford throws him a ball that he snatches out of the sky.
You know what, Skip? It was a blessing in disguise because you remember they missed that PAT. So now that made it an odd number. And so now, because now all of a sudden you're not going to go for it on 4th down, you're going to kick the field goal to tie. And now maybe they come down and get in field goal range and kick the field goal to beat you. So it was a blessing in disguise that they had to go for it. But Skip, we can't be dismissive of the Bengals' last five possessions with 4 punts and the turnover downs.
But I'm telling you, if it's 4th and goal at the 8 and you miss, I'd say Bengals win the game because you're up 4.
Hold on. That's Joe Burrow. He's the closest thing to Brady. Okay. What would Brady do?
Well, Brady would have won this game.
Okay, that's the new saying. WBD. What would Brady do? Brady would have driven down there and got him in field goal range and got him into overtime.
Which is why Joe Burrow is not Tom Brady.
Well, tell the people to stop saying that, then.
Okay, well, they just said he's Brady-esque. He's the closest thing to Brady in the way he plays.
Well, I remember a guy used to be Brady-esque. Somebody that you said came in 2016 that played for your team, the Cowboys.
That is correct. He used to be.
I heard you ain't mentioned Brady-esque yet.
Past tense. The referees said, you know what, the Hollywood Rams got to win in Hollywood. It's so fine stadium. Let's make sure. Let's make sure. And by the way, to finish off that 75-yard touchdown pass that your man Jalen completely misplayed because it's just a jump ball. My man, Ron Torbert, who did an excellent job, he is a commanding presence as the head referee.
He totally got to get out my face. I'm calling it.
That is correct. He said in a statement after the game, if there's just a rake across the face mask where there's not a twist and turn, even if there's a grab, there is no foul. That's what he said in his statement after the game. Well, that's what he said.
That's not true.
I'm taking his word to the bank.
No, you taking his word to the bank because you wanted to help your argument. Okay. Skip, your guy, if Tom Brady, let me ask you, you would have said if Tom Brady had 5 empty possessions, you would have, no, you wouldn't. You'd have blamed the officials too. But anyway, this was not an official's fault. You had 5 cracks. You went up 20 to 13.
Was that not a bad call on Logan Wilson?
No.
It was a terrible call.
It was a great call.
You know it, and I know it.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Next question.
Next question. We're moving on from the refs. How about the halftime show? Everyone was talking about it. Was it the best ever? Skip and Shannon give their full reaction next. I loved it. I want to hear what you guys think next.
No mercy.
Well, last night's halftime show had a lot of hype and certainly lived up to expectations. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre headlined a star-studded lineup of Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, and surprise appearances by 50 Cent and Anderson .Paak. So, Shannon, you were there in person. I was there watching. What did you think of the halftime show? What did it mean to you?
I thought it was great. And Skip, it was, this seemed more like an NBA All-Star game because this is the kind of show that they put on for the All-Star game. The NFL likes to play it a little bit more down the middle. But for them to bring out Dr. Dre and to get him to come out and to do it, you knew it was going to be something special. And to have Snoop and to have 50 and Mary J. and Eminem. But it goes to show you, Skip, black artists resonates with a lot of demographics just than black.
You better believe that.
White stream and other ethnicities stream black musicians.
White people love and honor that music just as much as
absolutely.
Black.
But Skip, it was great. I mean, to be there, the crowd was on their feet. They were rocking the entire night. And you had Mary J., you had Kendrick Lamar, like Jenny was saying. I thought it was unbelievable. It was one of the best performances I've been a part of now. I was in Miami when Prince was playing Purple Rain, and it was actually raining.
In the rain.
It was rain. I saw Beyonce in New Orleans, and I saw her in San Francisco. But this was right there with those, Skip. Honestly, it was right there with them.
I'm partial to Prince because I'm a biggest Prince fan. I saw him live in concert twice. And yet, after I slept on what I saw last night, it had such magnitude.
It did.
It just echoed with legendary. And one of my all-time favorite songs is California Love because Tupac had just gotten out of prison.
Right.
And it just landed with bombshells going off. And he was gone about 7 months later.
Right.
And if only he could have been there last night. With Dre.
Oh, my goodness.
My God.
Oh, my goodness.
But when Dre pops up and goes California Love, I got chills, man. And then our man Snoop is just presiding. And then 50 just drops out of the ceiling out of nowhere, upside down. And I'm saying, what? Where did this happen? And then Marshall Mathers is going to just bring it home at the end, and he kneels, which I thought was great. And the NFL said they were totally good with it. They knew it was coming.
Right.
And I don't know how you could do much better than the powerhouse of this. Just the overall the experience. I'm watching on TV, and it's knocking me back in my chair.
Skip, for the NFL, first of all, to get Dr. Dre, who's somewhat of a recluse.
Is he? Yeah.
We know who he is. We know what he is. We know what he represents. But the NFL was able to get him to come out and perform. I can't remember the last time Dr. Dre had a performance. But I think now him and Snoop about to hit the tour. They're about to hit the They're about to get back out there.
You want to talk about West Coast?
Yeah, this was unbelievable. This was as good a performance. Being there, Skip, because sometimes, like, when you're at home, you don't get but to be in that stadium and to see everybody, I'm looking around and everybody got their lights on and everybody just, it was unbelievable. It was one of the, like I said, Prince, Beyonce, and this right here was unbelievable because all three of them did a great job.
And I second your emotion of the NFL going NBA here because they did. Maybe they sort of joined the 2020s here.
Yeah, thank you.
They actually said, okay, let's go there.
Right.
And they went there, and hey, I'm sure some people didn't like it, and I don't care.
Skip, I ain't got no problem with Maroon 5. I ain't got no problem with Nickelback. I ain't got no Imagine Dragons. I get all that.
I do.
I got no problem with that. But come on, Skip.
Come on.
Hey, we people that look like me, we watch NFL too. But damn, I mean, sometimes I think they like, y'all ain't buying no gear. Y'all ain't attending. Yeah, we do.
Okay, good.
But it was unbelievable.
So good. It was
Dr. Dre,
amazing in
it's
person.
still Dre Day.
Can we just say, and I love Snoop so much. He's a friend of our show. Like, he just makes me happy.
Man, Snoop.
I know that he was probably up all night celebrating after that, but I would love his thoughts on the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll get him at some point.
He's still up, trust me.
He's still going? Actually, that's so true. All right, this is a tough transition for me from the halftime performance to Skip's Cowboys actually having a real chance of winning the Lombardi Trophy next year. We'll tell you what the odds are next.
They ain't got no odds.
No mercy. Rams fans in LA went crazy last night, but it could be the scene in Dallas next year. Yes, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook, the Cowboys have the fourth best odds to win the Super Bowl next season, just behind the current champion Rams and right behind the Bengals. Shannon, what does it say that the Cowboys are sandwiched right between the two teams from last night's game?
It says Vegas like taking suckers' money, because anybody that put money on the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl is a sucker. And there's one born every minute. That's what P.T. Barnum said. One born every sucker.
Wait a second. My Dallas Cowboys have the second best odds to win the NFC and go to next year's Super Bowl.
Bet 100 cases to do right now.
Just a
put 100 cases to do on it.
Well, I'll bet 2.
No,
100.
What is 2 cases?
I told you I'm not going to fall into this trap again, but we did get Dan Quinn back, right? And we got Kellen Moore. We got Micah Parsons. He's going to be the defensive player of the year next year.
What player did you get that's going to change your life?
Well, Micah will be in his second year, and he changed my life this year. And maybe Jerry will just stay out of the way next year.
What about that?
What about it?
What about it?
Well, we're going to run the football with Tony Pollard.
With who? With what?
Well, and my defense led the league in takeaways this year. Why not next year?
Because that's not in you.
Huh? Yeah,
that's not in you. You're not going to, Matthew Stafford come 1 year on the job. He got more playoff wins in 1 year than the Cowboys got in 26.
We got better odds than the Bengals.
You ain't got better your odds than the Rams.
Huh?
Y'all ain't got better odds than the Rams.
We're just a couple of ticks behind them. They're 11-1. We're 13-1.
Give me 20 cases.
20 cases?
20 cases will do. You don't make it.
20?
Okay, I'll bet you 20 cases right now we win the NFC East.
Man, no.
I'll do 20 right now.
No, you don't.
I will bet you we make the playoffs.
You try to start me out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jenny's last day before she goes on maternity leave.
Oh, yes.
Everyone here at Undisputed want to wish Jenny, congratulations again, and hurry up and bring us baby Gigi.
I made it to the Super Bowl, right? That's
you made it to the Super Bowl.
Thank you very much, Shannon. Skip Shannon are back tomorrow. The Herd is on next. Have a great day, guys.